Excuse me?
Hey.
I don't know.
What?
Internet.
Oh, hi, Internet.
Maybe.
Hi, maybe.
Hello there, Internet.
Maybe?
Huh?
Sure. why
Yes.
Your cousin, maybe?
not? Who?
Right.
What?
Her?
Egg?
No.
Ah, there it is. We're online.
Yeah.
Mountain Holler.
Mountain Holler.
Mountain Holler.
Woo!
That's what you do. Mountain Holler.
It is. It's what you do.
Yes.
Mountain Holler.
Drop this down to no peas.
No peas. Mountain Holler.
Copy.
No.
No?
Nope.
No?
Nope.
What?
Nope.
Not live?
Nope.
What's the problem?
Nothing. I'm trying to sign in the wrong account here.
Oh, dear God.
Don't do that.
many accounts.
Ever.
Is that your Snapchat account?
Yeah, it is.
Snap
What?
it.
What?
I don't know what you're talking about. What's a Snapchat?
I tweeted. Y'all should send out the good news.
Twat it up.
Go over to the Twitters. Twitter/NoQuartersNet.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. I done twatted it.
Forget what you're doing.
Yeah.
Does that mean I can leave?
No.
Oh.
You have to stay.
Damn it.
RT.
Not fair.
It's fair.
Yeah, drink that holler.
What? Who's drinking the holler?
The thumbnail was someone drinking some holler.
Oh.
Oh, somebody responded to
Please
our
retweet.
post.
Yeah?
Please retweet.
Who? What did they say?
They said, in order to receive $50 PlayStation codes, visit my bio link.
Oh, you should probably do that.
Oh, man, I want some of those.
You need codes.
I like the bio link.
Yeah.
I bet you do.
Yeah. Am I right?
Man,
I'm
bots.
right.
Bots. Bots are always offering things.
They are. They're very friendly.
Yeah, they're like I
Someone
wish
has used robots for good.
I know. Whenever I meet random people on the street, they always want money from me.
Yeah.
They're not like, here, have money.
No. Bots are...
That's why the internet's awesome. Because
Yeah.
it's people just offering you things. And all you have to do is give them your bank account and your social security number.
That's it. Those are
And
just
then
numbers.
they're like, here, and here's stuff. It's
Yeah.
like, oh, cool, sweet.
It's the best.
Yeah. My mother's maiden name, sure, here.
Yeah, I don't need it. I'm not going to use it.
Yeah.
She's not using
Yeah,
it.
she is. She gave it up.
threw it away.
Yeah, she got rid of it, so
Yeah.
why not?
Yeah. Cast it aside.
Man, I love that I have a G.I. Joe The Rise of Cobra Slurpee cup. That's so awesome.
It is pretty awesome.
I mean, it's becoming increasingly like, what? That was a thing?
I know.
Yeah.
It seems like so long ago and totally insignificant.
It was.
But
Way to wreck your franchise by delaying the sequel 9 months to slap some 3D bullshit on it.
and some more Channing Tatum.
Yeah,
some more
add like
C-Tate.
45 seconds of C-Tate.
Yeah, playing video games.
Need more
with The Rock.
C-Tate? Look, she's like, pew, 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 pew.
Having fun there?
What's lenticular?
I know.
know.
Yeah, they all are.
Yeah.
Lenticles are pretty cool.
Yeah,
With lentils.
yeah.
Leeks. Leticular.
Legumes.
Lagoon.
Oh, yeah, you just wait till you watch Jaws 3.
Yeah.
You're going to make some legumes.
Oh, they talk about
joke.
legumes?
Yeah.
Oh, lots of lagoon.
Yeah.
That's your drinking game.
Yep. Enjoy
Oh.
that.
Legumes or lagoons?
Lagoon.
But you
Oh.
can say whatever you want.
Legumes.
Like we did.
So people were allergic to lagoons?
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
All these jokes were made.
Especially the sharks.
Yeah, the
Man,
sharks have a
I really
peanut
missed
allergy.
it.
Yeah, you did. You missed out.
Apparently you said dope a lot, according to a comment on the YouTube video.
I guess. I don't remember saying dope a lot about Jaws 3, but
Dope a lot.
Dope a lot. That's where I bought the
Sir
mountain,
Dope a lot.
mountain holler.
The dope a lot.
That's dope a lot.
That's the really messed up Dr.
Yeah.
Pepper knockoff, Sir
Yeah.
Dope a lot.
Sure, dope a lot.
Man.
Man, look at all these people
Yeah.
here in the chat.
More like,
Yeah. More like nothing.
Uh-huh. More like,
thank you. Do we want to fill in anything on the E3 corner? I don't even know what to talk about from E3 anymore.
well, there was some stuff.
This-
I'm only in like hour 1.5 of Giant Bomb's 16 hours of podcast coverage. So
I don't know. There was some cool stuff.
You've been playing some Purelax to keep you regular? Is that what?
that was actually what the person who recommended it to me said. He said, I know it sounds like something you'd take to if you got problems, but
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Where was the E3? Oh, E3 corner. There's a whole corner.
Yes, at the end.
Yeah.
I don't know. There seemed to be some stuff we
Yeah.
were talking about.
All right.
New Xboxes.
Oh, I do have to put something in the mobile corner. Is it Hero?
Yeah. How has it been over a month? And you were basically like, yeah, I played Overwatch, and that's it.
Because I've been playing.
And yet you posted like Life is Strange is one of the top 10 best games you've ever played.
Well,
You're
I
like,
talked about it the first time. I mean, I talked
you
about
were
it
you
last time.
were like 3 episodes of it. You weren't finished.
I was in the 4th episode. I was almost done.
Oh.
Well, I'd like to hear more.
Yeah, I had like a sliver more of episode 4 and episode 5 to play. Because I was trying to finish last time.
Yeah.
I did not.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of how it was with Hitman. I was trying to get through the mission I was on, and then didn't get to the next one. So I'll have to wait for next episode.
Yeah. I was pretty close to the end of Resident Evil, but then I died.
I will ask you more about that once we are recording a show,
Cool.
which we should probably do, right?
Yeah, let's totally just fucking go.
Oh, jump right in.
Yeah,
Fucking
just
go.
jump.
Unless you guys got something else you want to add to that there list.
Not in the first half.
None of us played anything on PS Plus.
No, that's BJ's job.
Yeah, that's good. Well, no, he doesn't even play that. He plays.
He actually did. Like when I was putting my list together, I noticed his list, and he played quite a bit more than he thought he did.
Really?
So that's what I was trying to bully him into showing up, because he
Bully
played
for
like
you.
4 or 5 other games besides Star Wars.
Really?
Yeah,
So he played more games than the rest of us.
pretty
did.
much. Yes,
Go figure.
played like Rocksmith and shit. And I'm like, dude, I want to hear you come
Rocksmith?
talk about Rocksmith.
Where the fuck was he playing Rocksmith?
I don't know.
Rocksmith.
It's like, I have questions about Rocksmith that I would ask you on a podcast. You should show up. No response. That's okay. He'll be at wrestling tonight.
Wrestling tonight?
Yeah.
What wrestling?
It's a house show at the Coliseum.
Oh.
Oh, there is.
Okay.
Road to SummerSlam.
Oh.
He's
Oh,
in
there
the,
is.
He's in the suite.
Oh.
A sweet.
Yeah.
Sweet.
So
Sweet.
good on him.
Good. Wrestling.
Yeah. I didn't want to go because house shows. Who cares?
Yeah.
Well, Chuck, you're not there for the right reasons.
I know.
Think this has been
I'm
covered.
Yes, I know.
You need to
The
be
right
there
reason.
for the beauty of the sport of wrestling, and for the intense, involved storylines that occur.
right.
Not for shenanigans.
No, I know.
If you're there for shenanigans,
I'm
you
that,
may as well be that guy on The Bachelor who's there for all the wrong reasons.
I'm that asshole. That's me.
Poontang.
What? Yeah, I figure that's why everyone's on The Bachelor.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. I just
I know.
I never seen.
No,
an
they
episode.
always get offended when somebody's not there for the right reasons.
What's the right reasons?
So-
To find love and
No,
permanent happiness forever on a TV show.
Nope. The reasons are to get famous and get
That's all the
some-
wrong reasons, Chuck.
Get
But
some.
You're there for all the wrong reasons.
But
Some
what is
vagina.
love? Baby, don't hurt me. Don't hurt me. No more.
Yes.
All right, let's
meaning
start
of love
this.
is no, no,
Oh,
no,
right.
no. So are we actually ready?
Sure.
Yeah.
I guess.
Do you need a clap or anything? Or-
I do need to clap.
Well, then clap.
You start the show. You clap
Why should I clap?
because you start the show.
Well, I have to speak.
I do this every week. The clap and then speak.
No, you don't. Welcome to No Quarters, episode 82.
Hey, I've heard that this is a motherfucking video game podcast.
You have heard from the right people that have given you good advice.
Huh. Okay.
Yeah. I'm Mackie,
I'm Chuck.
And I'm Harlow.
and we're back.
Yeah.
Again. Talk about video games.
Video games.
Because that's what we do here.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much once a month, give or take.
Yeah.
Yes.
Unless you're BJ.
That
and then
rigid
it's-
schedule.
Yeah. And then it's BJ who's like 3 on, 3 off, 3 on. It doesn't matter.
No.
Yeah.
He's got a stewardess schedule.
He kind of, yeah. He's working 4/12s,
Yes.
you know, and then
Yeah.
he's off for a month.
Yeah.
Something like that.
So we'll see him sometime in 2017.
Sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, we got quite a few new games. When I looked at the list, I was like, wait, there's a lot of games we haven't seen yet here.
Yeah.
So let's get right into it. One we kind of heard about as far as the beta goes, and you might have heard on a couple other podcasts.
Yeah.
If you listen to any of those.
People are talking.
Which you're a dirty traitor for listening to other video game podcasts now.
Whoa.
I'm just kidding. You got to fill in that 4 weeks in between these things.
Yeah, you got 6 weeks of nothing to listen to when we're not on.
Yeah, exactly.
So.
But Overwatch.
Yes.
Harlow.
All right.
You've been playing some of that Overwatch.
I have played a tiny amount of Overwatch.
Give us 45 minutes of Overwatch strategies.
Okay.
Like every other podcast I listen to.
Ready? Okay.
Uh-huh.
It's pretty simple, y'all. Objective. That's your Overwatch strategy. Get on the fucking objective, whatever it happens to be.
Oh, no. Why would I do that?
I don't know.
I'm going to run around and
That
shoot
might
dudes.
be less fun than just being stupid and running around.
Yeah. So there's your pro tip for the day. Get on the fucking objective.
Well, thanks. If I ever play Overwatch, I will keep that in mind. So you're playing it on PC, right?
I am, but I'm playing sacrilegiously because I'm playing it with a controller on PC. So
man.
Go figure.
It's easier to sit on a couch with
is.
that in your lap than a mouse and keyboard.
Sure is. Yep.
Yeah.
Do they have any sort of adjustment? Does it feel like you're at a disadvantage at all or anything?
Not really. I mean, I guess there's certain people that are better with a mouse on aiming, but that's them. That's their thing.
Yeah. Are you still mainly playing the healer class? What is it, Mercy?
Actually, my primary number of hours played has been Lucio, who's also a healer mostly.
Okay.
But yeah, Lucio and then Mercy are my top two. No, I just enjoy that the most. I enjoy that and like the tank classes. It's weird. I mean, it just works out because you have so many, especially this time of year, you have so many teenagers playing that all want to play Reaper and shit like that. So
yeah, well, 13-year-olds, they've got the summer off.
Yeah, and
can't get jobs yet.
It becomes easy because nobody wants to play a tank or a healer, and they're pretty much needed for every single map. So it works out that I don't mind playing them. Now, every once in a while, I enjoy a random Junkrat, May, Soldier 76, whatever character. But that's my primary go-to things.
Does everyone still hate Bastion?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, absolutely.
So this has not changed from the beta?
No, this has not changed from the beta at all.
And have they been patching regularly or anything? Or if they have you been noticing?
Well, they've only done one balance patch, which lowered the effectivity of McCree specifically.
Mad Dog?
He is a Westerner kind of guy.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, he's a cowboy-looking dude. So
yeah, he's a pretty cool looking.
Yeah, his belt buckle says BAMF.
Oh, all right.
BAMF.
I'm in.
Yeah.
Unless, of course, you have the Evil Knievel outfit like I do. So then it does not.
Oh.
Yeah, there are a lot of alternate costumes for everything.
Yeah, everybody has about 54 unlocks but that includes costumes, skins, sprays, victory poses, lines they say.
Basically, all cosmetic stuff.
Yes.
Would you tell me what a spray is? I keep hearing people talk about it, and I don't give a shit to look it up.
Like spray paint.
Yeah. So
yeah, but why?
Well, back in Counter-Strike days,
Yeah.
it was kind of like a pre-teabag. I mean, you would kill somebody and then kind of spray your calling card, I guess.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Think of it like a black and white image that you back in the Counter-Strike days, you just put it in a folder and it would spray that in whatever color you had chosen. So it was like a spray paint tag.
Oh, okay.
And so you'd kill somebody and then you'd spray paint over their dead body.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, so it's like that, but they're all built in now because otherwise it would be all dicks.
Oh, yeah, I guess it would, yeah.
I mean, it's just, that is basically what happened later days in Counter-Strike. So, but yeah, I mean, that's all it is. And so most people don't even do the death spray anymore. It's just they'll stick it somewhere randomly in the world. Usually I like to go up to the payload if it's one of the payload missions. And especially if you're defending and just tag the hell of it. It's because they're all walking around the payload with your tags on it. It's just funnier to me. But yeah, I mean, there are several different kinds of modes of the maps. There are what I would call the control point maps, where it's there are usually two spots that you have to, the enemy team has to get on there by themselves for a period of time until the little bar goes, whoop, okay, you've captured this.
Yep.
Then there's payload ones, which I said, which is you go with a thing and kind of follow it as it's moving through the map, and again get to the very end and be there by yourself and push it into the end zone, if you will.
Okay.
Then after that, there's...
Is it, when in that one, is it not moving if you're...
If you're not by it, then it stops moving.
Okay.
And the enemy...
And if the enemy takes it over, it moves in the direction they want it to move in?
Barely. Like, it moves really slowly.
So that's more of an offense-defense game?
It pretty much. I mean, the defense can move the payload back, but, like, if the whole team is on there, it only moves, like, one bar, whereas, like, if the team... there's like a little speed indicator with a little arrow, and the most they can get is one, whereas like the other team can have all 5 on it, and that thing will be booking.
So it's not a symmetrical
right
type of... Okay.
Yeah, so the offense still has a little bit of advantage with the payload.
And that one, I take it, works in rounds?
No, you just do one payload and you're done.
Okay.
I mean, it takes that long. So
Okay.
The only thing you do in rounds are like the really small map capture things, just because it's like best 2 out of 3. So otherwise, I'm trying to think. I guess that's about it as far as like map types there are right now.
Are there a lot of maps in that game? Because I know, because there's what, 20-something characters in it?
21, I believe.
That's a lot.
Yeah. I don't remember. I never have looked at like a complete count of maps. I'd say there's probably like 10.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
enough that it doesn't feel like it's repeating itself very often.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing that gets a little annoying is I don't like right now when you stay in a match, typically if you defend something, the very next one will be attack. So like you'll do the same thing again, but from the other point, which I don't enjoy as much. I'd rather just move on to another map.
Yeah.
I don't really feel like that. Oh, yeah? Well, we'll show you that we can do the same thing that you just defended against. So I don't know. I don't enjoy that as much. Now, things are, like, I think I talked about it with the beta. I mean, comparisons have been made that this is like a MOBA, only without, like, whatever the hell they call them. Creeps, yeah. That's kind of true. I mean, except it's, in so much as, like, you have the hero classes, but, there's no rule against, I mean, too many people pick multiple ones of the same character, and like I don't know, it's a new dumb thing of like, let's go all whatever character. People jump in there and think that's hilarious, and they're fucking stupid. But it's because it's not fun. It's never fun. It's not fun to do it. It's not fun to defend against it. It's just dumb. Like it's not fun, people. Like, if you think that's fun,
that's a new strategy. Don't do that.
Check your privilege.
Or
what? I don't know. Whatever we tell people to do these days.
Right. Yeah.
Delete your account.
Yes, that's it. That's the new check your privilege.
Whatever. Just thing. It's dumb. Like it's not fun. It's like the fun killer. Really. I mean, like you have to be like kind of a troll to think that's fun, because it's just a waste of fucking time.
Welcome to
the
PC
internet.
Gaming.
Yeah.
So there's nothing from preventing you from picking multiples of the same thing, but most of the time the team will yell at you like, "Oh, we don't need 2 Reapers, dumbass kids," So
I understand all the kids pick Reaper because
he's gothy.
Yeah, but what does he play like? What is he supposed to be?
He's a close range. He's got like double shotguns. So he's like a close range guy. He can dematerialize, so you can kind of like sneak past people, like they can't hit you, and then he's got like a teleport thing too, but the teleport thing it's slow enough that it's like kind of a disadvantage, because they can see where you're taking off and where you're going to, so half the time if the other team's sniper can see you teleporting, they'll just wait for you to materialize and right in the head. So
it's not like it's an overpowered character. It's
not like Bastion. Bastion, I mean, I'm sorry, Bastion is just too fucking powerful. Like his shot is way too fucking powerful, and it's like, I jokingly say that if you can't play game, play Bastion, but it's because he does the most damage by taking a fixed point. And he's not moving, so he's not making any sound, so it's the most annoying fucking character in the game, because you're just running along having fun, and this asshole's hiding around the corner in turret mode. You have no idea. You turn around the corner and there he is. Okay.
And is it a case of like one specific character can just demolish him every time?
There are 2,
like someone with a missile strike or something.
Everyone kind of has a counter. I mean, his is like Farah, the rocket launcher lady, or Junkrat, the guy with the explosives. They both are kind of antithesis to him. I mean, other people can somewhat take him out too, but that's his big 2.
So it sounds
counters.
more like if you're in a pickup game, he sucks. But if you're in a team that actually knows what they're doing,
there's still too many ways that Bastion could just be an annoying bastard. Like somebody can bump him up like to an area that makes him really hard to hit. Like there are things to launch him up into parts of the map where he can just sit up there and have like 3/4 of him is covered, but all he needs is like a couple pixels to mow down the entire team. You know, there's just points like that where he's just fucking annoying. He's a turret character. It's stupid. I mean, he's a human turret. Like I said, it's like,
so he's basically camping personified.
yes, exactly, more or less. I mean, he stands there, doesn't make any sound, and his damage is way too intense. He's that guy that sat around the corner in Counter-Strike with the AWP and just shot you anywhere and you were dead.
Foot.
Yeah. So he's
Took
that
off your foot and murdered
he's
you.
that asshole, you know.
Okay.
So you're personified. So he just sucks. And every time I'm on a team that has a Bastion or against a Bastion, I'm equally disappointed. Like, I'm just like, because like it's weird. Like I feel like there was a shift in the game. Like when I got past level 40, it seemed like all of a sudden I was in like a different class of games I was being put in. Like no more did I have like the people under level 40. It seemed like there was an invisible divider line of, oh, you've played this enough, now you're only in teams with these people at this level. Well, and it seemed like the Bastion picking went way down, and so now it feels like when someone does pick them, it's just like, oh, really?
Yeah.
Come on, you've played this game enough. Come on, you know better.
So I didn't realize there were levels in this game. I knew you had to like get loot crates to be able to get all the skins that you were talking about earlier, but
levels are just, it's, you know, EPing, you know, I mean, it's whatever.
It doesn't mean anything aside from you got a bunch of chances to unlock stuff.
Every level you go up, you get a loot crate, and you get like a shinier, you know, level badge thing, whatever. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like when you get to level 100, it's like prestiging, except you don't, you know, reset anything. You just get a star and you start all over again.
Yeah,
like
and it sounds like there's no disadvantage to doing that because you're going to keep all your unlocks.
You don't even get a choice.
Oh,
I think you just hit 100 or you hit 100. It's like, no, you're level 1 with a star. That means you're 101.
But it'll still probably matchmake you with the right levels.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I played a game the other day with someone with 2 stars, which meant they were 200 something level, which is insane.
So they've been busy.
A little bit, yeah.
Or not that busy.
Or not that busy, yes. That was the only person. I've only come across one 2-star person.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you like this?
I do. I get annoyed because games like this can be annoying, especially like when another team. I don't know. The thing is like, be a good winner and be a good loser. That's all I ask. You know, like if you lose and you lost legitimately, don't whine, and if you win, don't go like GG easy. You know, like fuck sticks like that, right? Things like that.
Don't be a piece of garbage.
Yeah, don't be a piece of shit. I mean, it works both ways.
Yeah.
You know, everyone, and also everyone has a bad match. Don't go like, you suck, delete your account, you know, like because somebody had a bad round or whatever. It's like, this works both ways. I mean, you know, the best people in the world have a bad game, so
yeah,
just
look at Steph Curry.
I don't want to.
Okay, then.
He's that man.
Yeah.
Oh,
he did bad.
That's a man?
Oh, yeah, he did.
I thought it was Stephanie.
Nope.
No.
Stefan.
Oh,
Yep.
I thought that was a type of Curry.
But even he was the unanimous MVP of the NBA, and then he sucked in the finals. So it can happen to anyone.
Yeah.
Well, they were
So
all,
imagine
they
if
were
he
all
was in
fixed, I
Overwatch.
hear.
Yeah, don't pick Steph.
They were all fixed. They wanted to go to Game 7 for revenue, I hear.
Yeah.
They already... Nah. I don't even want to get into They already made the money. The TV money was already made.
Yeah, they had it.
It doesn't matter how many games it goes. They don't get any extra
The TV
money.
money and the shingles virus are very similar.
They're
Yes,
both
they are
inside you
inside
at all times.
Okay.
So speaking of the shingles virus,
Oh, all right.
are you done?
I guess.
Unless there was anything else you wanted to add about Overwatch.
You've played it for a month. Are you done, or is it just
Are you
starting?
just getting
Well,
started?
no, I jokingly keep saying I'm going to stop playing this game until August.
Why? What happened?
Because that's when the kids go back to school.
Oh, okay.
I jokingly keep saying that, but I'll probably keep playing it. I think I'm in like the 70s, so I'm probably going to roll over to 100 just because I want to get a star.
Yeah.
And it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
As long as you're playing and doing okay, you're going to...
Yeah. I mean, the thing about the game is, and I will say this, is I think the most appealing thing is getting to know the characters. I mean, it's like a fighting game in that you kind of learn the ins and outs of a character, but you can't just play one. You know, you have to be a little bit... You know, you can't be like the guy, I play Street Fighter, but I only play Blanca, you know, or something like that. It's like that you don't get very far like that. Somebody will eventually just pick the guy that counters Blanca and kick your ass over and over and over and over again. So you have to have like a couple people in your wheelhouse. But they're all fairly simple. They all have one or two gun moves, if you will, like sometimes an alternate fire, and then 2 abilities and an ultimate. It's not that difficult to master. So that's what's so interesting about it, and what I think Blizzard does best is come along, like take something that could be complicated and make it easy to pick up, but then hard to master. You know, like that's kind of their thing, because WoW was super easy for the casual person, but as you can see, that however many fucking years later, there are still people playing it, still trying to achieve that magical thing and whatever is going to make them go, I'm done with this game now, which probably never happened, but they've done it once again in that, like, oh, this is pretty easy on the surface, get in there and like, oh wow, this is actually pretty complicated, and there really are tons of strategies that one could talk about. It's just I mean, it's simple but difficult at the same time, and they've just done that really well. So, and the characters are interesting other than Bastion.
All right.
So,
it looks good.
It looks really good.
When I see you play it, I'm like, wow, that looks like a cool video game.
Yep.
A cool video game.
Yeah, that's how I react to all video games. That looks cool.
And playing it with people is like where it's at. I mean, not only do you just having one other person in a party with you, in a 6-person team makes you coordinate that much better. Imagine 2 or 3 or an entire team. And they reward you in experience. You get like 20% bonus experience for everything you do. So you're leveling up like way, way faster.
To encourage you to party up.
Yeah.
That's smart.
This is going to sound like a dumb question, but it's not really given current climate. Is there cross-platform play?
Not yet. I think that's where they want to go. And I think this is probably one of the big reasons they were pushing that, before it came out. But it's not there yet.
Okay.
And I have a feeling PC and Xbox will open up first.
Sure.
I don't know, because that's going to open up that whole can of worms of joystick versus mouse, and and then they're just going to have a whole new level of whining.
People will know.
Yeah. They can deal with it.
People on consoles will know they're playing against someone on a PC. There'll be a filter.
I'm pretty sure you can hook up a mouse and keyboard to the Xbox One if you want to.
You can.
I don't know.
As of recently,
games,
I think they just enabled some sort of.
Yeah. Who's to say the game will let you use it? But
Yeah.
Yep.
Anyway,
So
that's Overwatch.
Yeah.
on a completely different note, Chuck.
All right.
Right. Back to the shingles virus.
Kind of.
Yeah.
This was an E3 surprise announcement.
Yeah. It
out
was
of nowhere.
Sega Saturn of the show.
Well, yeah. Well, kind of like what was it? Dead Rising Super Challenge Climax Edition,
Sure,
or
whatever
whatever.
that was,
where they
yeah.
were like, "Yeah, this thing, it's available right now.
Yep.
Like, just go buy it."
Go buy it right now.
And that would be Trials of the Blood Dragon.
Trials of the Blood Dragon.
Which is a Trials, as in the speed bike on a ramp, crazy course thing,
Physics simulator.
combined with Blood Dragon's universe.
Yes. That is correct.
How did that work out?
Most people will say not well.
Really?
Response to this game has been that it's pretty bad. I don't think it's bad at all. I rather enjoyed it. It's it's like Far Cry Blood Dragon in that it's a short experience using assets from something else. They've just basically slapped Blood Dragon universe all over this Trials thing. That game goes some places. That game does some weird stuff with the Trials formula. I really enjoyed my time with it, and it's got that kind of Blood Dragon-y sensibility to it, so it's all kind of fuck yeah America stuff, but also subversively not. You know, it's
now, isn't the premise that we're in Vietnam War 3?
4
at this point?
Yes, we're fighting the commies in the 4th Vietnam War.
Okay.
That's just the opening stages, though.
Okay.
Again,
and you're playing the children of...
You are Rex Power Colt's children.
Okay.
So no Michael Biehn in this?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
There is Michael Biehn.
Yes.
Okay.
Opening narration provided by. Maybe some surprises along the way.
Okay.
So he's definitely in it.
Is it still basically like a Trials game every level, or do they start deviating and going... Because I heard you can get off the bike.
There are platforming levels that I will fully admit, and everyone is right when they say it, they are not that good. The physics on those are really wonky. Like the way you jump is really floaty and weird.
Yeah.
So there are platforming stages that aren't great, but they're not bad. They're not terrible. I mean, I've played worst slidey, floaty platformer games that just suck. This one, once you figure out exactly what the physics rules are, you can pretty much figure it out.
Yeah.
There.
Do you ever have to shoot things?
Yes, you have a gun.
Good.
You can shoot from the bike. You can shoot when you're off the bike.
Good.
You also have a grappling hook.
Okay.
So on the bike, you will come to a jump that you realize you're not going to get. There's something above you that you can grapple to, and then you just swing.
Okay.
The physics of the
I can get behind that.
It's all Trials-y physics stuff, but they play with it in weird, crazy ways, and they play with the environments in weird, crazy ways. I will say that pinball happens at one point in the middle of Trialsing. Man, there's basically a whole level that's like you're stuck inside a pinball machine, kind of. But I mean, this game, like, there's like Doom inspired stuff, and there's Hotline Miami inspired stuff, and I just, for what it is, a $15 4 to 5 hour game set in the Blood Dragon universe, it gave me exactly what I wanted.
Okay.
I enjoyed my time with it, so. And it makes me want to. I never played the Trials Awesome Max Unicorn Edition thing.
Yeah, I bought it and I didn't play it either.
So I'm close to going back and playing that because I'm curious about how much that plays with the Trials stuff to see how much this was just aping that. But having not played that, this does a lot of really unique things with just the physics and the camera angles and the Blood Dragon stuff. I mean, it's part of that weird, crazy universe.
Yeah, Trials has turned weird.
Yes.
Like, it's suddenly like the franchise where they're just like, let's just do weird stuff.
Well, that company got bought by Ubisoft, so I'm sure Ubisoft was like, hey.
Yeah, because I actually went back and played Trials HD for a little bit. And it's just like, it's weird how straight that game is played.
Yeah.
There's that weird sense of like, oh, you beat it, and then we blew your guy up anyway type.
Yeah, that little
going on there.
Jokey bit at the end kind of sense of humor to it.
Yeah.
But there wasn't any story.
No.
And that's why like Trials Fusion was so strange, because they were trying to spin like this weird narrative of whatever the fuck was happening.
Yeah, now you're in the future and like
machine.
Yeah, the future.
I've been welcomed there.
Yes. A lot. But yeah, I wholly recommend playing it and really get through the first set of levels. Like, you're going to get off the bike and a lot of people were like, yeah, this is garbage. I don't like, just push through it. It's not difficult. And then once you beat it, it opens up this world of challenge levels, which are just, I mean, those are for the Trials elite, insane people.
The people who know throttle control.
I guess.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like,
do you have to do stunts ever?
No,
because that was universally the worst part of Trials Fusion.
Yeah, you can
having to do stunts to get a certain score.
Oh no, the scoring is different in this, in that the clock is ticking down, and so you're just graded on how many faults you have in comparison to how much time you had left.
Okay,
so the clock can tick down entirely and be at 0, and you can still finish the level.
Okay,
you just don't get any points for it, but who cares? I just wanted to see all the stuff.
Yep.
So there will be levels that you will probably, restart 50 times because there's some weird physics jump that you're not quite figuring out exactly what you're supposed to do, but no, there's no stunt stuff.
Good.
It's good though. I like it.
Good, because I was not a fan of any of that stunt stuff, and it was weird because the scoring felt so arbitrary on it.
Yeah,
I'd be like, man, I just did this crazy ass thing, and it's like 200 points.
Yeah, exactly.
And then I'd like screw up something and land all weird, and it'd be like 5,000 points.
Yeah.
I'm like, what?
Yeah. And fortunately, the bite-sized chunk of this game that it is, it doesn't have that Trials ramp of, okay, you had a lot of fun up to this point, but now you got to be a fucking hardcore psychopath to finish this game. This doesn't have that. You can, look, I'm that guy who has abandoned every Trials game because it's like, oh, now you want me to do super hard weird stuff. Forget
you hit
it.
The brick wall.
Yeah. So this doesn't do that. You can play through the whole thing and get to the end, and all that weird hard stuff is opened up at the end where you get all these challenge levels that you don't have to do. So,
yep.
But there's weird hidden stuff, and the dialogue is all super. People have described it as a lot of non-English speakers watching a bunch of canon movies and then trying to recreate the dialogue and then translate it back to English.
Good.
So it's weird like that.
Good. That's what I want.
Yeah. his kids aren't necessarily performed by the best. I think they just got some kids off the street or something. They're not great, but, whatever.
It's a video game.
Yeah. And Michael Biehn, he's still in there, so.
Oh, good.
Yeah. And like I said, it goes places.
Okay.
So, tying into that sort of, Joe Danger recently became backwards compatible on Xbox One. And when it popped up, I was like...
Joe Danger Special Edition.
I was like, I should really give that game another shot. I didn't give it a fair shot when it came out. Mm-hmm. So I went back to it. And my complaint about that game has always been, it came out around the same time as Trials did. And you were like, well, this game isn't Trials. You go into it thinking, oh, cool, more Trials. And it's not. And then you go into it thinking, okay, so it's more Excite Bike. And then it's like, well, it's not that either. Mm-hmm. And then a lot of people just go, well, if it's not those two things, fuck it. I don't want to do this. That is kind of a fault against this game because it's kind of presents itself as one of or both of those things, and it's neither. If you stick with it, though, it kind of starts to make sense as to what it actually is, but I don't necessarily know if that's a good thing that you end up playing, I don't know, maybe 20% of this game before you start to realize what it's asking you to do.
It felt more like a score attack thing, almost, where it was kind of like, you have to be choosing the right path to be doing this stuff.
Yeah, but the thing is that there's either no information on the screen or too much information on the screen, and you can't quite decipher what it is it wants you to do in a certain level. Mm-hmm. It just gives you these icons like, do this. And you're like, how? And so what you do is you end up playing like 20 tracks, and then you realize, oh, that's what it wanted me to do. And then you go back to the beginning and do all the tracks right. Mm-hmm. So I guess the reason I wanted to bring this up is I have stuck with it a little longer. It has started to click with me, but, it's made by Hello Games, which is making No Man's Sky.
Oh, I don't know why that never clicked with me.
That's a little concerning to me. And I know this was one of their early games and was like maybe their first game, actually, but...
I think so.
For a stunt-focused score attack motorcycle game, them not telling you what to do is, okay, fine, maybe you'll figure it out eventually, but now they're making this giant scope space exploration game. I'm hoping they have figured out hey, let's give you some information as to what to do here, because I don't want to play 20 hours of No Man's Sky and then realize I was doing it wrong. Mm-hmm. So, I don't know. I mean, they've always been a small team, and this was early on, so maybe things have changed. That's just why I wanted to bring it up, because it is the same company, and it tied into Trials a little bit.
Just a wee bit.
Yeah. But I have put a few hours into it now, and I like it more than I did, so... Worth checking out. It's cheap, backwards compatible. Xbox One plays fine. So
yeah, basically they've made the two Joe Danger games.
Yeah,
and No Man's Sky.
Yeah,
wow.
So we'll see how.
But they were former
goes.
Criterion guys from the good old days.
I get that.
So that's got something going for it, right?
I mean, there is a lot of style in Joe Danger. Yeah. Like it has like its own like 70s Evel Knievel, Super Dave Osborne kind of vibe to it, but. I don't know. I hope there's a Joe Danger planet. You just go there and they're just little Joe Dangers.
I wouldn't be surprised, but man.
Good luck finding it.
Yeah, good luck finding it.
Yeah. So. Anyway.
Another way you could say good luck is I played Party Hard on Xbox One, and good luck beating that game.
Sorry, that's just the segue.
Yeah, pretty good. So, okay. When I first heard about this game, I was like, man, this sounds like the best thing ever.
It does.
I've never heard of this game. Please explain.
This game is... This game feels like a game you would have pirated from a Wares board in 1990.
Go on.
Yeah. It is you are a guy who is fed up that his neighbors are still partying at 3 a.m. So his response is not to call the cops. It is to go over and murder every one of the people in the party.
Huh.
It is done as a single screen with a set map layout and a set number of people at the party, but the traps and other ways that you can murder people change slightly. Like sometimes there'll be a golf cart out front that when you activate the golf cart, it runs over everyone in the front, immediately splattering them everywhere. Like it goes in a straight path. There's a bear trap you can set. And eventually somebody's going to wander onto that bear trap and get smashed. And so there's, dumpsters to hide bodies in. You can throw them down a manhole. But there's, the first level, the tutorial is like 4 people and you're done. the first actual level is 47 people.
Oh, that's a party.
In like the house has 1, 2, 3, 4, basically like 5 rooms and a bathroom, and you have to be able to kill people without being seen, because those people will immediately call the cops, who will come, and you cannot kill the cops. So it becomes very much a trial and error. Get to 35 people and then fuck something up because they won't leave this one room where they all are.
Right.
But, you know, you can poison the food, which will make them run to the bathroom to get sick, and then you can kill them there. You know, it is...
So it's like a Hitman game.
Not really.
Well, it sounds like it in spirit, like
kind of.
You got to do a thing to make a person do a thing.
Yeah, but the thing is, I mean, it's one screen. It doesn't scroll. It doesn't do anything.
Right.
And sometimes the roll you get as far as, okay, this thing's here, this thing's here, this thing's here, this trap can screw you completely.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just like, God, this is going to take me 10 times as long because, you know, without that golf cart to wipe out 15 people off the bat...
Sure.
You know, that's like you're at a way disadvantage because when you're trying to go around and you can't just run out and you rack up combos for the number of people you can get in, like a number of basically different types of kills you get as you go along. So it feels like it would be fun, but it's so punishingly hard.
Yeah.
It should be like Party Impossible or something. You know, it's
that's my new party planner company. Party Impossible.
Yeah. So let me ask you these two things. So your goal is to not get noticed and then not to have the cops show up?
If the cops show up, it is very difficult. You have to be away from the front door.
Okay.
The cops know who you are and are immediately looking for you.
Sure.
And so you have to be able to navigate around, but you only have a very limited sprint. And the cop has an unlimited sprint. So, I mean, I've evaded the cops before because basically... someone saw me set up a trap and then run away from it and called the cops. And there's also the person who's going to call the cops has a little phone that flashes over their head and they're like, oh no. And so if you can stab them before they get to the phone, then that's bonus points as well.
Okay. I've
killed the cop before. You can't stab him because he immediately hits you with his baton or shoots you and takes you to jail.
Yes.
But the second level is it's a party at like a barn, like on a farm, and there's a horse. That you could startle the horse and it'll kick people to death behind it. So I startled the horse when the cop was going by and he brained the cop and killed him.
Okay.
So, yes, you could kill the cops, but...
Does that just send more cops?
Yeah, people freak out a bit. They don't freak out.
A bit.
Well, and that's the thing is that it's a lot of like Sims sounding stuff. Like the soundtrack is pretty fucking good.
Yeah.
Like it sounds like a better version of the 1990s like ad-lib sounding soundtracks.
Okay.
But it's like kind of aping stuff like like Axel Foley's theme and that sort of thing, because it's the whole aesthetic is very much like 1989 1990 computer game.
Okay.
Which sign me up.
Right.
That's fucking golden age for me.
That was the question I was going to ask you is how are they presenting this to where like the media is not losing their shit over this game?
Because it's presented so cartoonishly and childishly, and it was like by a Russian developer.
Oh, sure.
So did you not hear about Hatred? And nobody gave two shits about that.
Well, they did at the start, but
this one just kind of fell under the radar. I mean, it released on Xbox One. I don't know if it's on PS4 or not, but I'm pretty sure it's got to be on PC. This is the kind of thing that was like would be so ridiculously easy to put out on PC. But I don't know, honestly, like where like. How any of that happened, but I think just because it's presented so goofily, and there is like a cutscene in the beginning with terrible voice acting where they're like, where it's like you can't tell what's going on quite, but it's like a detective interviewing like a guy who showed another detective. It almost sounds like who showed up to investigate it.
Okay.
And was trying to explain what happened, and but it's one that should be more fun than it is, but I think they ramp you up too quickly to the difficulty. Like if the first level had been like, there's the tutorial. It's like, okay, here's how you use a trap. Here's how you stab a guy. Here's how you hide a body. Okay, go.
Right.
And then the first level is like, okay, here's 50 people, try and eliminate them. And they don't really explain when you hit the A button, you dance. And they don't really explain. And you not only do you dance, but you have like starbursts that are coming out of you as you go, and people in that range.
Yeah.
Like some people go, "Hey, fuck off." And then other people are like, yeah, let's dance. It's like...
I was going to say, if it's like a distraction thing, it's like if someone notices you and you're like, okay, dance.
That's what I kind of thought, but then people started kicking me to death.
Oh, well...
I mean, I'm not saying I'm the best dancer ever, but I've never had that reaction.
But yes, there is an achievement for getting killed while dancing, for dancing too much. There is an achievement. And that actually helped me avoid the cops at one point, because like I ran out, because there's a dance floor in the middle of this room, and I'm dancing in the middle, and like biker guys were like, hey, fuck off, and then they started kicking me, and then I was on the ground, and the guy held zzz over my head where I was sleeping, and then the cop just kind of left. So I was like, oh, I evaded the cops by getting the shit kicked out of me.
Good job.
Yeah.
Awesome job.
That's a pro tip for you out there in life.
But I mean, it's so, I mean, it looks like, it's that pixel art we've gotten kind of used to, and the characters are very simplistic, but, there's like a clown walking around with a balloon over his head. So you can kind of tell, you can tell individuals in the game. It's not like they're all just generic looking things. But, there's just dumb stuff like when when everyone's standing around a grill, you can just hit Y to push people into the grill, and they'll burst into flame on the grill screaming.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, and you can spill water on the floor by the bathroom, by the circuit box, and then,
Oh, that old
somebody
chestnut.
will walk into it. It's dumb. I just wish, like, the first level had been like, okay, here's a party of, like, 15 people.
Yeah.
Or party of 5.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's the first level.
Yes.
But yeah.
Yeah,
except you're Charlie and you kill everyone.
Oh.
It sounds like they ramp it up to where, like, you don't get enough time just to play.
Yeah, and it only looks like there's maybe 10, 12 levels from the level select that I got to after you finally beat that first level. But I was, like, banging my head against it for at least half an hour, which the first level of a game where, there's an achievement for beating a level in 3 minutes. It's kind of like, it shouldn't be this hard to... And actually, it's probably closer to an hour that it took me to get through that first level.
Wow.
And then by the time I got to the second one... And the other problem is you can just run out of traps to spring. Like, you've sprung all the traps, you only killed a couple people with each one, and now you got 30 people left. So it's a matter of, like, running over and, okay, this guy went in the room, and everyone's, like, wandering around all the time. So, like, okay, this guy's alone in this room, so stab him. Mm-hmm. And then, oh, fuck, I forgot there's a window in that room, and somebody saw me, and now the cops are back. It's just...
Right.
It should be more fun than it is.
So the entire, you say it's like a one screen. So is the entire thing like an isometric view, or
kind of? It looks like halfway between isometric and top down.
Okay.
Like it's almost like think of it top down and then just tilt it a little bit back.
Okay.
And it kind of feels like that. It's sort of like Hotline Miami, but a little, like, not nearly as crowded. Like your character's way smaller on the screen.
Okay. And what system is this on?
I played it on Xbox One, and it was like $12, I think, something like that. Yeah, I mean, I remember getting it when it first came out because I was like, all right, this is something I need to play.
Sure.
And then forgot about it.
It's just reminded me, like, I don't know, somewhere between Night Trap and Spy vs. Spy is what it sounds like in the old days.
Oh man, Spy vs. Spy, that game was good.
Remember, you just set all the traps and like try to make them walk through them.
Yeah, Spy vs. Spy was great. But yeah, it's kind of like that, like where you have just this one screen, but because the traps are randomized, sometimes you can screw yourself and you can just run out of traps, and then it's just not fun. It just takes forever. So that kind of takes away from it. So I don't quite know if I could recommend it, but because I'll admit I'm making it sound better than it is by describing all the, kicking a cop in the head with a horse and all that.
It is part of the Steam summer sale for $3.22.
Done.
I would pay $3.22.
I'm going to go do that now.
Yeah, I would totally pay that much for that.
Sounds like a pretty good deal.
Yeah. Well, then again, I'd pay just about any game under $5. I'd pay for it. But yeah, just know that, like, it's brutally hard. It is really hard.
It's party hard.
Yeah.
Well, let's get a party started.
But yeah, the music's great though. God, it's so good.
Does it play that at any point in time?
What?
The Andrew WK?
Let's
get a party started.
I don't think so because they're going for 80s, late 80s dance music.
Oh, I was gonna say, he's pretty
vibe.
Fucking 80s sounding good.
Yeah, I don't know. But anyway.
It apparently is also on PlayStation 4.
Oh, yeah. Well, there you go. It's available just about everywhere.
Yeah.
Any modern system.
And on Fire OS.
No shit.
Apparently.
Well, I mean, this, like, you could, if the interface wasn't so crowded, you could put it on a phone. It would probably play all right as an iPad game, but anyway.
There's apparently a weird tie-in with Twitch for this game.
it feels like a Twitch game.
Well, this what I'm reading says that the viewers of the live stream on Twitch can trigger events within the game, such as SWAT raids or rampaging bears.
I did have a SWAT raid happen on the farm one, the farmhouse party.
Okay,
and that was not good for me.
Rampaging bears, huh?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Yeah, I believe it.
That's what you want from a Twitch stream.
I think that bear killed me. Now I think about it. There was a bear, and I tried to get him kicked by the horse, but then the horse fell asleep because I had made him kick too many things. And the horse got tired, and then the bear ate me. So yeah, party hard.
He has been a little sick. And after all, he is just a bit horse.
Oh, man. All right. So that sounds like a value pick of the week.
Yeah, so...
Yep, I just spent $3.22 on my Steam wallet credit.
Congratulations, Russian guys that made it. I forget the name now, but it was a pretty good name, too.
Okay.
Anyway, I also played some of the new missions on Hitman.
Oh, Hitman.
The new Hitman.
Episodic Hitman.
Yeah. I haven't played the very, very newest one, but I played the Italy Sapienza one, and I played more of the Paris Fashion Show, which my wife was enjoying the hell out of watching me play those. Because there was a point where I was banging my head against one part of it, and then she's like, well, why don't you just shoot the lady? And I'm like, you can't just shoot the lady. Like, you have to
do it with flair.
Yeah. Woo. And then finally I gave up and just shot the lady.
Sure.
And then made my escape in a helicopter. But that game's great.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know any other way to put it. I absolutely love that game. Like, the missions, like, they just keep, like, you start out and you do those initial ones that are real small.
Right.
And then, like, the fashion show one is just this sprawling, huge mansion with, like, a helipad in the back and just all sorts of different rock, paper, scissors situations of, okay, well, if I'm wearing this, then these guys will recognize me, but these guys won't, and I can get by them, but then I have to find this in order to get, it's almost like this Rube Goldberg thing that they've put together, and there's an interactivity there where they just know, like, okay, you see that camera crew out front, why don't you follow, like, people like me are going to go, I'm going to follow that camera crew and see what they do. And they know that, like, if you walk in between the lady taking the shot, or the videographer getting the shot of her doing the intro, and if you walk in front of it, they're like, you asshole, what's your problem? Like, just all those little things like that.
Is the fashion show one the one where that GIF comes from, where all the mannequins are? Okay, that's the best.
Yeah. Yeah, but there's just so much in, like, they've just thought of so many things and put so much, it's like they built this world and then they're like, all right, how can we make stupid stuff happen in it? And how can we make you set all these distractions and traps and all these dumb things in it? Which is fun, but every once in a while it kind of breaks, because if you're trying to play it like a cheap asshole, you'll break it real quick. Right. Like, because the second mission is after there's the Paris one where you have to kill these 2 targets. And, as always, I ended up drowning one of them in a toilet, because that seems to be like my modus operandi as a hitman. So,
yeah.
So anyone we know that gets drowned in a toilet,
Mackie.
Yeah, I'm probably going to be the prime suspect.
Look for the swirly bandit.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. But yeah, I took him out, and then I ended up just giving up and sniping his wife from a balcony, and that was that. But the one in Italy, they've built this whole little town around, like, this villa where the base is, and then there's and your mission is to assassinate the guy who created the virus, his assistant, and then destroy the virus that they've been building in this lab underneath, like underground. And killing him is easy. You poison him, and he gets all sick, and then you kick him off a cliff, and that's child's play. That guy's done. Yeah, who cares about him?
Yeah.
But her, there's a golf instructor that she's having an affair with. So you have to basically get the golf instructor's, like, you have to get rid of him and get his outfit so that you can go into her, you can get his phone and you can call her and be like, hey baby, it's time, and go to her room and wait for her. My problem is I could not, like, there's a way to poison his drink. Yeah. And I could not figure out how to do it without somebody seeing me, because whenever you're going to interact with a thing, like, like a bottle of water, and you've got rat poison that you're going to put in it. But if there's a little yellow marker next to it, it's basically saying, hey, somebody's going to see you doing this. So I just was banging my head against it. I'm like trying to make the lawnmower explode next to me and just trying to do dumb stuff that's going to distract anybody so I can just put freaking rat poison in this guy's water.
But no, someone's always staring at that rat poison.
And I mean, I'm even like turning on faucets and they're just pouring. And then the guard's like, hey, what's going on over there? And then he goes and he has to inspect the faucet for like 30 seconds and be like, huh, that's water. And
that's why they're guards. Yeah. They don't think very well.
Huh.
And it does kind of go a little ways to explaining the whole overarching thing of, oh man, that was weird. Guess I'm going to go back and stand here and ignore everything.
Yeah.
But so I turned on the water, had him distracted long enough for me to immediately murder the golf coach and kick him off a cliff and murder him, change into his outfit and kick him off a cliff before that guy came back.
Okay.
But somehow the guy I kicked off the cliff woke up and was like naked running around freaking out in the level. And so I'm just walking around in his outfit going, that's weird. That's kind of, what's going on there? And this guy's like, oh my God, there's somebody here. He's going to kill us. He's attack me. And so he's running around. But
push me off the cliff.
Thing is, I'm still trying to go through the motions of calling her and getting her to come to the room. And I got there and I sat down in the room, and I got the lights are down and the music's on and the fireplace is going. And I'm sitting in the chair waiting. And as soon as she walks in, she's like, oh, candles, my favorite, and then... And as soon as she does, two guys burst into the room going, you need to get safe. There's something going on. You got to hide. And these guys are running around the room like idiots. And she's like kind of doing that, the animation, like the freak out animation they give where you go,
yeah.
And just kind of like that cringe over thing,
right.
that lean over and tense up deal.
Yep.
And then eventually they run out of the room. And then she untenses and is like, where was I? Oh, yeah. And then I kept waiting. And then she tells this whole story about all this stuff. She's like, before we get into anything, I need to let you know something about this. And I'm like, just shut up. I don't want to get out of this chair because you're going to recognize that I'm not the golf instructor because I'm, freaking bald guy with a barcode on his head.
Yeah, there's that.
Yeah. Which also in the Paris mission, one of the models is this guy, a bald-headed dude, but he wears like makeup across his eyes and across his mouth. And their description is like, your cheekbones are remarkably similar to him. And it helps that he's like they go to such extremes, such video game extremes to explain why you can't, why you look the same as this guy. But I couldn't get far enough into the mission, like down that road. I ended up kind of getting distracted and going down a different road because like that's the fun of that game, is getting distracted into a different mission. But anyway, speaking of distracted, I went back to her, and finally, like, I was like, okay, I can't handle her talking anymore. So I got up and she's like, who are you? I don't know you. And pop.
Yep.
Killed her. And then had to sneak into the base underneath. So at least I had her key card to do it.
Oh, good.
But yeah, you go into, and there's like this whole underground James Bond lair where they're building this virus. And you eventually have to get into a hazmat suit and go into like this clean room in order to sabotage the thing. And they have eventually, I couldn't figure out how to do it in the room, like how to just sabotage the thing without the scientists in there going, "Hey, what are you doing, man? Don't do that." So eventually, I just
hey, stop that! Don't touch that.
Yeah, that's kind of how they are. They're like, that's going to ruin the sample. They're like. So eventually I was like, fuck this. And I just pulled out my gun and shot all of them.
Sure.
And then I'm like, well, I got to hide the bodies.
The old R. Kelly approach.
Yeah.
Pull him up a red.
So, like, normally you hide the bodies in trunks. Like, this is like a universe where, like in the corner of the room here, there'd be a trunk in case I have to murder one of you and throw you in a trunk to be hidden.
Always.
Like that's the kind of world they've built. So I grabbed the first guy and I toss him in and I look, oh no, and it's like this green stuff. I threw him in sulfuric acid, so he just melted into the... Well. And so after I did all of that, the challenge I achieved was the Heisenberg. So I was like, yes! And my wife cheered when she saw that one come up.
Awesome.
So, Because she had remarked when I got in the hazmat suit, she's like, "That's kind of Walter White-ish, isn't it?" And I was like, "Yeah, maybe a little bit." And
they were with you.
Yeah, they had already thought of it before I got there. Yeah. But I'm having so much fun with that game. Like, I need to keep going back to that because just some of the crazy variations of dumb stuff that you can do. And like, I got on a whole side path I didn't even continue with where there's like a scientist and a gardener that are having a conversation about like what he's creating, and he's like, "You don't even want to know, man." And like how he got recruited in. Like, there's just all these little side things. Like, I love that they've built this giant level with all these things happening at, I mean, I know you're triggering them by being there,
right?
But there's also a certain amount of timer as far as like, okay, if I did this upstairs, that triggered this guy to go talk to him, and you could just never see any of that. So they've just, it feels super well crafted, and I think the episodic thing only helps it because it just gives them more time to focus on, all right, how do we make this one level perfect and not, and I know they have teams switching off, they'd have to in order to be able to get them out because they've been doing them pretty much, it feels like every month, but it might be every 6 weeks or something. It's pretty steady. So it just feels like it's good to have the whole team working on one level, and it lets them add all this interactivity in all sorts of crazy stuff and just all these stupid things that you can make happen.
I do like how they're doing it.
Yeah. And they have and it's also after you beat a mission, I realized that when you go back, you can start in a different area. If you've done certain things, it unlocks it later. So if you replay it, you don't have to start at the front door.
Oh, good.
You can start in the kitchen already disguised as one of the waiters or something.
Cool.
And there's also drops where, okay, you can have your lockpick in this drop area. And then if you go to that place in the level, you can get that and continue in the level.
Awesome.
Yeah. And that's how you get the sniper rifle part of at least the Paris one, which is one of the like gifts I saw somebody post where they basically just sat in the parking lot outside and found like the sliver of like 2 pixels that they could shoot through the window that would get both people to do. I think it's called, I can't remember. It's like contracts or something is is another thing they've been adding where it's like incredibly weird challenges that, they've created, and you get certain badges or whatever for doing it. And you level up as you complete these challenges in a mission and do a certain number, and obviously you lose points for killing non-essential targets. So
yeah,
I kind of screwed myself by Heisenberging all those guys.
Well, they shouldn't have put
they
sulfuric acid in their trunks.
Yeah, really. Like, come on.
Is sage advice right there.
I believe I saw that posted at the beach one time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Don't put it in your...
I don't know if that makes it the clean room or the dirtiest room.
That's probably the filthiest room. Yeah.
But if you can just...
I don't know. There's all those dead guys in the toilets.
Yeah.
No, you put them in the dresser that's in the toilet, in the bathroom, and then nobody finds them.
Sure. Yeah, no one goes in those. Why would you look in a dresser in the bathroom?
Yeah, that's weird. It's gross.
Yeah.
But that game's got a ton of great stuff. And the escalation stuff is fun, too. Like, if you're really into this game, they have, like, okay, kill the guy with, a screwdriver. You're like, okay. So you kill the guy with the screwdriver. And then it says, oh, all right, good. And then it resets, and it goes, okay, kill the guy with the screwdriver, but don't change outfits. And you go, oh, okay. So you do that, and it's like, kill the guy with the screwdriver, don't change outfits, and don't alert any guards. And it's like, or, don't have any unnecessary kill. They'll keep escalating up to, I think, 5 levels of stuff. So.
And you're playing this on Xbox One?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I bought the season pass before it even came out. Or I think, because I was like, I knew enough that I was like, I'm going to like this.
Cool.
So, yeah, that game, it's fun. Episodic stuff is fun.
I need to get into that.
Hey, speaking of episodic.
Yeah. Speaking of.
Yeah.
Wow.
Last month I had almost finished Life is Strange, and now I have finished Life is Strange.
Hey, congratulations.
I was almost all the way through episode 4, I think, when I talked about it. I was already declaring it like one of my favorite, I don't know, I hesitate to say game because, people have their whatever walking
simulator
bullshit thing. I would still say it's up there on my favorite interactive experiences. How about that?
Okay, sure.
It gets real weird by the end, but it didn't put me off of the whole thing. I mean, it's a fascinating thing. Like I said, I keep feeling like I can't say the word game, but I'm going to say game because it's easier to say.
It's a game.
I don't want to say interactive experience
Game.
or walking simulator or whatever.
Game.
It goes some very strange places, but I'm glad that it does. Mm-hmm. And I don't just mean like supernatural, weird time manipulation stuff. I mean, it goes like dark, weird places in that universe. And I'm glad that it never feels the need to shy away from any of that, despite the age of the main protagonist and other, ancillary characters. Mm-hmm. I love that they're like, no, we have a story to tell. These people are adult enough. Let's go. It never feels patronizing or like, oh, we had to pull back and make this safe for everybody. It's just people speak in a very interesting, and I a lot of people have criticized the way that the kids talk. I don't know how, maybe it's not accurate to how kids are talking now. I don't know. Mm-hmm. It felt genuine to me. I mean,
and even if they did make them talk like kids talk in 5 years,
right?
It's not going to matter.
Yeah, it doesn't. That's always subject to change. It felt genuine to me for the universe, so I can't recommend playing through this enough. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I think it's kind of like it's a triumph of storytelling and stuff in games or other medium. I don't know how to like say it any better. It's like it's just a thing I feel like people need to experience. Mm-hmm.
Like especially if you're into story.
Yeah, if you're into branching story, you're into. I mean, there's a layer of geekiness in it that doesn't feel pandering. Mm-hmm. Like so many things where, oh, look, reference, now you like this, don't you?
Right.
It feels genuine to the people and to the people that made the game. It feels like they actually had a passion for anything that got mentioned. It wasn't just like, throw this in because people like this. Mm-hmm. I just, like I said, I liked all of it, despite I feel like the last episode got particularly losty, I mean, like, like it feels like it's the kind of thing that could undo people's love of the thing, mm-hmm. just because of all the weirdness it decides to cram into that final episode.
Right. But
it didn't for me. And like, I guess I'm just extra forgiving because like, I don't even hate Lost's ending, even, mm-hmm. Everybody else seems to have.
Sure.
So I don't know. Like I said, it's great, and maybe it has peaks and valleys, and maybe loses you at the end. But I still say it's all worth it.
Does it all funnel down to one ending, or are there multiple places it can go?
I don't think so. I mean, there are at least two dramatically different endings you could have.
Okay.
At least. I mean, I don't know where it could branch from there. Beyond that, because I haven't tried to do a multiple playthrough thing. I mean, I feel like everything I did, I made the choices that I wanted to, and I no regrets on any of my choices, kind of thing. Mm-hmm. Okay. So, and it's interesting to see like where your friends chose. I mean, mm-hmm. I think that's a fascinating feature to look at, like the world / your friends.
Right.
So yeah, I think play it. Give it some time, because I feel like the first episode, might feel a little janky, and you need to give it some time to like warm up to it. I still feel like the first episode's really good, but I feel like it's better in retrospect, mm-hmm. And not necessarily like the best place to start the game, if that makes any sense. Like I feel like it drops you in pretty heavy, and it's like,
it does.
There could have been like a little bit more of a tutorial, get to know the world
right.
thing going on, but mm-hmm. also I think that would have been boring.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, still super highly recommended. I don't, maybe the last episode cooled me just a little bit, where I was like, it was best thing ever, but I still feel very, very strong.
Cool.
Probably top 10 things of all time.
Nice.
Yeah.
Wow.
High praise.
That's another thing I need to go back to.
Yeah.
Man.
It keeps taunting me from my Xbox One window.
Yeah.
And my Steam library.
Yeah.
Both of them are like, play me.
Yeah, well, it was me for so long. Just like, man, why have I not started this? And then when I finally did, I was like, why did I not start this mm-hmm. before now?
I need to just play whatever comes to mind. I need to stop like, I need time it's like I have time. I'm obviously playing other games for 5-6 hours straight, obviously. So
yeah, I like I like that I've reached the point where I don't care about. I mean, I'm always looking for an excuse to play a game that I like, but I don't. I'm glad that I've dropped the need to feel like I need to complete games for an achievement or percentage completion things, where I could just move on to something else.
Yeah.
Like I feel like I could play another playthrough of this and probably get some enjoyment out of it, but I also feel like I have other things I could just move on to.
Yeah,
I enjoyed the experience enough that why add to it?
Yeah.
So.
Well,
yeah.
Speaking of enjoying your experience.
Yeah, good one.
Sure.
Thanks. Okay, so Trials of the Blood Dragon got the big, E3, here it is, it's out, and go get our game bump.
All right.
Dangerous Golf came out right before E3, and therefore got no mention whatsoever, and was drowned out entirely in the press because no one was talking about video games the week before E3. So Dangerous Golf is out, which is by the makers of Burnout. It's a golf game.
Okay.
And it's basically Crash Mode, but with golf.
All right.
And if that sounds awesome, that's because it is. It's also a little janky. It's a lot janky. It's janky as fuck, really. But I think they will probably come along and fix some of that stuff. The physics world of golf is a little different than, car crashes in the streets. But
really?
Yeah, so you're a disembodied person hitting a golf ball in some sort of room, and there are themes and challenges and targets specific to whatever mode you're in to destroy as much as you can to get medals and achievements and ribbons and all the things. It's basically exactly that. There's not a lot of extraneous stuff to it. It is, you are plopped in a room with a bunch of fancy stuff in it. Now hit your golf ball and smash that shit.
Yeah.
The physics are wonky, like I said, and there will be times that the camera just starts freaking out. Like the ball will just land in some place it's not supposed to be, and you will just spin around and vibrate and get stuck in some polygon that you didn't. I mean, it's weird.
Is that the spot where it's like you can't enjoy games?
Yes, exactly. It puts you in that spot.
Okay.
Of we hate
that's
video
the
games.
worst.
So I don't know. It's very bare bones. All the physicsy stuff is there. All the fun stuff is there. But this game kind of needs an announcer, like someone shouting at you when you're smashing like cakes and statues and grand pianos and stuff. And it doesn't have any of that. So I just need a crazy voice shouting at me that I have done the most amazing thing.
Yeah, it needs the Medieval Madness table announcer.
Something like that.
Jackpots.
Yes. It does kind of need the pinball.
Super jackpot.
Yeah, it totally needs that, and it doesn't have that. Maybe that's something that's coming. I don't know. This game, it kind of feels early access to me. Like maybe there's a better version down the line that's coming out, or it's a proof of concept video game that I somehow paid for and shouldn't have. It's a beta, really, but I don't know. It's fun. It's just I wish there was more to it in terms of just the ancillary bullshit. And the golf physics are a little strange because you basically get 3 shots. You tee off and smash a bunch of shit, and then you survey the room and figure out what's left that you need to get. And then the last shot is always a putt, which you can pretty much make no matter where you are. It's
that
strange.
was the weirdness to me about that game. It seemed like I wasn't, not having played it, it's very unclear about what the goal of it is. Are you trying to get a shot into a hole, or are you trying to destroy as many things as possible, or are you trying to destroy as many things as possible and also get it into the hole?
You're not aiming for the hole to start. Basically, you are trying to destroy a certain number of targets or get a certain dollar amount of damage. The thing is that on the 3rd shot, you have to, wherever your ball is, you have to get it in the hole. Otherwise, you are docked half of what you made up to that point. So it's basically just like a finishing move of, okay, you've done your shit. Now put the ball in a hole. Let's move on. So it's not following golf rules. There's nothing about that. It's just on the 3rd shot, wherever your ball is, it's like, okay, now you got to hit in the hole so you can move on. You can't just stay in the room and keep smashing stuff. So they kind of assign this weird arbitrary, like, okay, your car has completely come to a stop. You cannot continue to crash it, therefore we have to move on kind of thing. But then they applied it to golf, which is basically, well, I can hit this ball anywhere. So they had to come up with some way to get to end the level. That part's just a little strange because almost usually, no matter where you hit the ball on the third shot, it's going to find its way to the hole. So missing the third shot seems arbitrary. Like the game will just decide, nah, you're not going to make that for some reason. I don't know. But sometimes too, on the second shot, you have to, like, you may have hit your ball out into a balcony somewhere, and you've got to make sure you maneuver back to the main room so that you have a shot for the hole. I don't know. It flat out uses Burnout terminology, Crash Breaker and stuff like that, and the font is there. I mean, it's a fucking Burnout game, but with golf. That's what it is. So on that alone, you should play it. I mean, it's kind of like Burnout Crash.
Does it feel better than... I was about to ask if it feels better than Burnout Crash. Because Burnout Crash did not work for me at all.
Oh, Burnout Crash ruled.
I liked Burnout Crash a lot. There was something about it that kept me from progressing. I don't know if it was just like I couldn't figure out exactly what I was supposed to do in certain levels, but Burnout Crash feels like a fully formed video game. This still feels like a look at what we're doing physics demo,
like an early access thing.
Almost. Like a beta, like a hey, when we finish this game up, it's going to be awesome. But instead, they just released it. So I don't know.
And it feels like we've been hearing about this game for a long time. So I'm wondering if they were kind of cut their losses and put it out or what.
Yeah, I don't know if this was just a hey, this would be crazy. What if we did this? Maybe they were just making a physics engine, on whatever new engine they're using, and they were just like, well, how can we test it out without putting out a Burnout image? Let's make golf. So I don't know, it has potential. I would kind of like to see some more stuff added to it, and I also hope that stuff would be free because I already paid for it. So I don't want a Dangerous Golf 2. I want them to finish Dangerous Golf. So if it comes up on sale, I would say pick it up, because the very first shot you take, like when you press start and you play it, you're like, oh man, yes, this is, I've been missing this. I want this. It's just the more you play it, you go, I need a little more.
Where have you been playing it?
I've been playing it on the PS4.
Okay.
Because apparently the physics on the Xbox One make that thing choke.
I've heard PS4 chokes as well pretty bad.
Yes and no. I mean, like I said, there are times where it just will freak the fuck out, but it didn't seem to hinder my play, to whereas the reviews I read for the Xbox One were like, this thing can't handle it. So, but get it. It's got leaderboards.
Yeah, hooray.
And there's no one on my friends list playing it, so I'm the top of all my leaderboards. I am the best Dangerous Golf player. So.
Great.
Yeah.
Good job,
Thank
Chuck.
you.
Way to be the best.
I appreciate it.
You're the best. All right.
Speaking of the best.
Yeah?
Brakes are the best?
They are.
Let's
Brakes
take
are
one.
pretty good.
Yeah. Get some more Mountain Holler.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Mount and
Load
holler.
up on that holler.
Did I say Mountain Holler?
Oh, yeah. If you ever want to get more, it's only 70 cents.
Oh, wow. Keep that in mind.
Yeah. Post office totally lost those comics.
Yeah.
No updates whatsoever. No nothing. So, and now the guy, of course, I wrote him earlier in the week. I'm like, yo, I'm working on this. Just letting you know, getting ahead of time. And then got the request today. Never got the things. Tracking's never been updated. Give me my refund. Yep. So I might be forced to give him a refund right now. Just because, you know what? I almost don't even want to fucking deal with it. It's like $5. I hate eBay. I hate it. And I hate relying on the post office.
Yes.
Because they're a bunch of shit givens. There, I said it.
Yeah, you did. Shit giving.
Kyle, what'd you get?
Yeah, Kyle. Tell us about your games, Kyle.
What'd you pick up, Kyle? Kyle!
Yes, Dangerous Golf could use DJ Atomica. Yes, you were right to trade Evil Within back in. That game is the epitome of bleh. Metro is good. Good for you, Kyle. What else you got? I've only played the first Metro game. I loved the first Metro game. Loved it a lot. Oh, Sleepy Dogs, yeah. I like Sleepy Dogs a lot, too.
I heard you talking about Metroid.
What? No, Metro.
Oh, Metro.
Hey, shut up. I'm sorry, what?
I have both those Metro games, Metro 2033 and what is it, Metro Last Light, I think?
Yeah.
Something like that. I think I started one of them on PS4 and was like...
First one's so good.
I was like, I need to come back to this, but...
2033 is so good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like the idea of bullets are also your currency.
Yes. It really makes you think about using bullets, which that's probably the best way to do it. That's a good, like, tight 7 or 8 hour shooter game.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you can get in and get out in a couple days. I like that game a lot.
Yeah.
It's good.
And the sexiest video game has to be Leisure Suit Larry.
Yes.
Totally sexy.
Totally. The sexiest.
The sexiest.
Yes. I don't know.
Leisure Suit Larry.
Plumbers Don't Wear Ties on the 3DO is pretty good.
Sewer Shark.
That's not sexy at all.
Oh, Night Trap.
Night Trap. Sexy game.
Sexy, sexy, sexy.
Totes sexy.
Maybe one of those anime games. Sexy. Cartoon sexy.
I don't know. The South Park game was pretty sexy.
No, that was sexual. There's a difference, Chuck.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're right. Sexual.
Yeah, that was not classy at all. Not like Leisure Suit Larry.
No, that game was classy.
Sexy and classy.
Right. The
Yeah.
classiest.
There was a chick in a hot tub and she was naked.
Yep.
But the bubbles were just high enough.
I would say going into any strip club in GTA 5, boy, you're really
There was some sexiness there.
You're really gonna get your money's worth in there.
Yeah, some dead-eyed. That's probably the most accurate thing is how dead-eyed all those strippers were in GTA 5.
Just dead inside.
Yeah.
Just. Oh, do you want a lap dance?
Yeah.
Gross. Sexy game.
Man, GTA. That's when I feel like I keep wanting to go back and just start GTA 5 on PS4, and I keep not doing it. Yep. I think because I know I'm just bound to do a bunch of bullshit and not anything that matters to the game, you know?
It's, I mean, I did 25 hours of that on the 360, and then we're like, oh, they're making a PS4 one? Fuck that, I'm going to play that. And then they haven't even started it.
Yeah. I feel like I should go back to the 360 one because I got far enough like to have unlocked Crazy Guy and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And done a heist and
yeah,
I don't want to go through all that introductory shit again.
Yeah, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do like all the torture bullshit. And
yeah.
I should finish a GTA game.
Man, 3 in Vice City.
I have those on PS4 now.
And that's the thing too, is it's like, yeah, I think I do too. And I'm just like, I might just go back to those. Like Vice City especially. Vice City's, I mean, it's Scarface, so it's fucking great. And the soundtrack is fucking phenomenal.
And the cast of that game, holy shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Vice City cast, I just, that's amazing to me.
Yeah. And I feel like I put like 80 hours into GTA 4 and just never progressed the story far enough to do anything. Like, I think I progressed it long enough to unlock all the islands.
Yeah.
And that was it.
We talked about that one before. I gave GTA 4 so many chances and was just like, I can't. This game is terrible. Can't do it.
I never thought it was terrible.
I don't like the driving in it. I can't stand the character that you are. Mm-hmm. The whole...
But it had Brucey.
Yeah. I liked all the ancillary stuff. It was just like, you're a colossal piece of shit who is going around saying you're not a piece of shit.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'd be curious, like, I kind of want to play that if only for being almost like this document of everything just before the whole economic crash.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, that came out like weeks before that happened.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that, to me, that's like the curiosity of that, is to see like just how different the attitudes were about stuff. And it's weird that's already been 8 years since that shit came out. Mm-hmm. Over 8 years.
Mm-hmm. I'm sure the political radio bullshit is still talking about it. Like their weird...
Oh. Yeah.
Their weird GTA political channel was probably talking all about it.
What are you talking about?
GTA 4.
Yeah.
No, they moved on to 5, and then... And 5's weird, too, in that, like, it came out, and, like, there was that that brief bit of outrage, but it's just like that game vanished almost. It's kind of like Avatar. It was fucking huge, and it's kind of like always there, but people don't really care that much.
Well,
and the online thing, like they keep emailing me, they're like, "Oh, we put this new expansion out in the online thing," and never.
It's one of those weird silent zeitgeist things where it's like a billion people are playing it, just no one's talking about it. And if you're not on Twitch or if you're not watching live streams of people doing shit, the people who are talking about the latest thing all the time are not talking about it anymore. So,
no, it just. And maybe it was just the time that it came out that I kind of got screwed up completely as far as that goes, because it came out a month before my wedding, and so I got to play the very beginning, and then it was just like I was getting married and honeymoon and moving and just all this stuff happening at once, that it was just the worst time to for that game to have come out. For me, at least.
In my experience, every GTA has come out at the worst possible time.
Yeah, the other one came out the day after I started a new job.
Yeah.
Yeah, GTA 4 started. I started a job Monday. That came out Tuesday. I think Harlow and I still went to Walmart at midnight to get a copy.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Man, remember doing that?
Me and BJ? I don't remember. Yeah, going to... Now I just buy it digitally.
Yeah.
No, I think we did. I think.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we did.
It's that shitty one over on Normandy.
Yeah. Yeah. A
Yep.
Walmart.
Yeah.
It's a shitty Walmart. That says something
the extra
there.
shitty Walmart.
Yeah.
Let's just say that.
I always loved explaining to them why I could buy a thing. It's like, oh no, it's after midnight. That's the date. It's time.
Yeah.
It's Randy Orton attacking the stick figure family.
He's killing the father of the stick figure.
Oh, I couldn't read the words.
Oh, yeah, he's RKOing out of nowhere.
Oh, okay. See, if I saw out of nowhere, I would have figured it out.
Sorry. My chest folds were...
They really were. Your chest folds really were, Chuck.
Chest folds 5. Oh, man, let's talk about more video games.
Yeah, I snuck Life is Strange only there for the...
Yeah.
You can
thing.
sneak it.
Yep.
Put it
Well,
in
I was
Episodic.
like, we're kind of short on the first half, so we're probably going to ramble about E3 longer than we think we are.
Hell yeah. What?
So you did beat GTA 4 and 5, right?
Me? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I think the only one I haven't beat since 3 is San Andreas. I don't think I actually ever went through the whole story.
God,
Yeah, San Andreas, that's one where I was primed to do everything in that game, and then I tried to do everything and fucked myself.
So I got like too obsessed with like, I got to go work out.
Yes. There are too many systems in that game. You just start to get like, I got to eat, I got a haircut, I got to work. It's like, fuck, man.
Your hair's getting kind of long because people start talking about, your hair's getting kind of long.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And I was like going through doing all like the graffiti tags.
Yeah.
Like just all that, because that's what I did in 3 and Vice City. Was like, where's the packages? Let's do this.
Yeah.
Get me my extra weapons. I want my flamethrower for the 40th package. Yeah.
It would be funny if those games actually didn't have endings, because no one seems to ever get there anyway.
I beat 3 in Vice City.
Yeah.
And then proceeded to go nuts after that, but
Yep.
3 never did speak, even by the ending of it.
Yeah. Man, there's so many games I should play. But
Yep.
Wait, I thought 3 was the one where you were Ray Liotta, or was that?
That's
That's
City.
Vice City.
Holy shit! Okay.
Yeah. 3, you were Claude. Apparently was the guy's name.
Claude.
I don't know where that came from, but Claude.
Cloud. Oh, Cloud.
No. Yeah, you were Claude Strife was your name. GTA 3's main character, Claude Strife. All right.
How's that mountain holler treating you?
Oh, man, I'm ready to holler it up.
Yeah.
You gonna go holler at some mountains?
Yeah, I'm going to mountain holler.
Hey,
some
mountains.
things.
Why don't you move? Woo! What do you need, a Mohammed?
I like how lazy the logo on the side of that bottle was.
It's
too.
terrible.
It's just a guy's face shouting.
Yeah.
And then it's like Mountain Holler coming out of it.
It's
like
90s,
like the
man.
front of that
It's-
Franz Ferdinand cover.
Yes, it's literally. It's
So
just,
fucking dumb. But there's like no style to it.
no.
No pizzazz.
No, come on, guys.
Come on, Mountain Holler.
Mountain
if you're going to call
pizzazz.
yourself Mountain Holler, have some pizzazz.
I got to figure out.
that's the other one.
Yeah, that's their Sprite knockoff.
Yeah.
Pizzazz. Hi, you got that pizzazz?
Pizzas.
I don't want soda to taste like pizzas.
That's my poor name, Pete Zaz.
Pete Zaz. Good one. Hey.
Yeah, I'll do it with pizzazz.
Yeah, I'll do it. Someone call pizzazz.
That's what I call my junk. Pete Zaz. My junk's pizzazz.
Yeah, he also brought Dr. Pop.
Dr. Pop.
Dr. Pop.
Dr. Pop.
But when I took a quick glance at it, I thought it said Dr. Poop.
Might do that too.
Yeah, it might be made with prunes, just like Dr. Pepper.
Yeah.
Might help
Poop
Dr.
doctor.
Poop.
Totally
Dr. Poop.
applicable.
Mojin Poop.
Poop. Mojin poop.
All right. So we ready?
Surely. Yeah, let's
do a
this.
second half. All right, welcome back. Second half.
Hey.
Episode 82.
Still.
Yeah.
A motherfucking video game podcast.
Still is.
Mm-hmm.
Just continues to be.
Always will be.
Yep.
So I hear you played a video game.
Yeah. The game I played the most this month. Dark Souls 3. I beat it.
Yeah.
Finally.
All right. Your long national nightmare is finally over.
Well, you were debating there. You were like, I got one boss left. I can either kill him and end this game, or I can just go back and do all the things.
Yeah, no, you can be the boss. It puts you back and it gives you the option to start a new game plus or to just keep going.
Okay.
And you can just go to the bonfire and select. I think they call it start your second journey is how they put it. And I was like, oh, that's nice.
That's very nice.
Yeah. And I was like, no, I'm not going to do that yet.
Okay.
Because the enemies are harder and I don't want to do. And I want to do some stuff. But yeah, that is a satisfying ass Dark Souls game that has some very fun references back to the first Dark Souls and a few things in Dark Souls 2, but not a ton. But yeah, it satisfied in all the ways I was hoping it would. And the ending is very similar to the first Dark Souls, where it's like, all right, I just watched that and I don't know what the fuck happened.
Yeah.
And so I went on YouTube, and if you search for Dark Souls lore on YouTube,
oh boy,
wow, wow, that is a rabbit hole that you could spend months down and still kind of not know anything that's going on at all.
that sounds great.
Just kind of wondering.
That's the best lore.
Yeah.
But yeah, I still it's it. I'm not there for the story anyway.
Oh.
I'm there for the gameplay and the exploration of the world and the feeling of it. So
Rank the Dark Souls. Go.
Including demons and Bloodborne.
Yeah.
Man, I didn't beat Bloodborne, so I couldn't tell you.
Okay.
There.
Well, that should
I didn't play
figure
enough
in
of
your
demons.
ranking.
Well, no. I mean, I've only beaten 1 and 3.
Oh.
And they are the most similar. I still like Dark Souls 1 better because, as most people say, like the first one you play is probably the one that you're going to gravitate more towards. But I also think that the biggest mistake they made in this one, which I understand why they made it, but they did it, is giving you a fast travel right off the bat. Because so much of my enjoyment of the first one was feeling like I was in this cohesive world, and when I found a shortcut, it was like, fuck yes, shortcut. That, now when I have to run back to the bonfire, I don't have to cut through a whole bunch of shit. Whereas now you can find the shortcut and it's like, all right, that's cool. And you might use it once or twice, but then never again, because it's like, oh, I'll just go to the bonfire and warp to that part. So that kind of, there was a bit lost there. And just like Dark Souls 1, as you get closer to the end, you kind of care less about the levels. Because you're like, all right, let's just get this done. Which is a bummer because, like, the one optional area called Archdragon Peak, where if you don't know how to get there, like, how people figured out without a wiki is beyond me.
Yeah.
Totally beyond me. How, anybody just didn't go, oh, the video that says how to do this. But, yeah, you have to do, like, one of the gestures that normally are the things that you do at people, after you've killed them or whatever. There's one of them, a specific one you use, and you have to sit there for, like, 20 seconds, and then all of a sudden you get teleported to a new area. Where the toughest boss in any of the games is there. After you get through the level, of course, but it's not a fun level. It's pretty crazy. But really, really nice looking. But it's another one of those things, like, so few teams nowadays would put that much work and put multiple bosses in an area that is, like, that obtuse to find the entrance to.
Right.
And just be like, yeah, whatever. But because it's a Dark Souls game and because everyone knows it's that team, it's totally okay that they do that because they know eventually people are going to find that shit. So,
well, we have the internet now.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and
all it takes is one person finding it, and then everyone's like, "Hey, I want to go there too."
Yeah, but I remember hearing stuff like Brad on Giant Bomb just being like, "Yeah, I totally missed that area."
Yeah,
and that boss fight is one of the coolest boss fights because you fight a guy flying around on a dragon until you kill his dragon, and then he gets off and whoops your ass. So, yeah,
so it sounds like if I was playing that kind of game, I wouldn't be checking the internet or anything like that. I would have never found that. I would have.
There's no I don't know how you would.
Yeah.
Honestly, when it's one of those things when you think back on it, it's like, oh, that kind of makes sense because the guys, there's corpses sitting around this one spot that are all doing that pose, but it's one of those things that just doesn't click in your brain because you see other guys doing that pose other places, and and there's one later on where if you do it in front of this altar, it gives you a certain ring if you sit there long enough, and it's like, who knew this? Like, who thought of this shit?
Right.
Yeah. But I think I made it easier by over leveling myself and getting, summoning people to help me because I had to have some people help me for the dragon rider.
The penultimate boss.
Yeah, he was the second to last boss. Mm-hmm. But yeah, Nameless King is his name for those who care. But yeah,
how do you get to be king and not have a name?
Well, you'll have to ask him.
Okay.
I killed him, so you can't.
So,
yeah.
The world will never know.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, what was your name?
Tell me before you die. Yeah. Oh, well.
Yeah, and I beat the last boss in one try, so, it's kind of... It feels weird. Like, I think that's why I don't have as good an impression of that as I do for the original Dark Souls, too, because, the original Dark Souls, man, I was, banging my head against bosses, and you memorize the runs up to them, you memorize the whole pattern of the boss, and just do all that stuff. And it feels like, when I beat it in 2 or 3 tries that quickly, because there was usually a bonfire pretty close, which I remember when I first talked about this, I was like, yeah, it's great. They give you such a shortcut to get there. And now it's kind of like that doesn't quite feel like the good thing that it did before.
Yeah.
Because it took that flavor of the game away. Which I realize I'm gravitating a lot towards games like that. Like the original Dead Rising, I liked the time limit of that. And that you could just miss shit. And it's like, okay, well, if you start over, you keep all your levels, but you're going to have to start the game over. But it's like, yeah, that's good. Like, to me, that makes the world work properly the way it's supposed to.
Right.
And it feels like, in the name of making stuff easier and more accessible, they lost a bit of what made that thing special in the first place. Mm-hmm. So, but at least they took away a lot of the bullshit that Dark Souls 2 did, and which is fine. And yeah, and they just made, for people like me who care about achievements in that game, at least in very specific ways, they made it kind of a pain in the ass because they tied a lot of really collecting all the miracles and spells and rings and all that tied to ranking up in covenants, and choosing a covenant. And a couple of them are basically, if someone is in a certain covenant that's like the starter covenant, you will get warped into their game if they get invaded to help them kill the guy who invaded them. But sometimes the loading screen takes so long to get you there that either they've already been killed or they've already killed the guy who invaded them. Right. And so it's like, all right, never mind, sending you back.
Okay.
And that's if you get it. Like, I've left that thing on for hours now and just don't get summoned into anybody else's game to help them. Mm-hmm. And the only way to get those items that you get to rank up is to either do that or to farm specific enemies who have like a 1 in 30 chance of dropping it. So you could just spend hours and hours trying to do this shit. Mm-hmm. And it kind of sucks that they tied this stuff to online things that have specific, even for them, it's kind of like, yeah, this shit will take forever, you guys. Like, I don't know if they overestimated how many people would join the one that's like, okay, come help me. Or if they just figured, okay, well, farm here, have fun with this.
It always sounded like their network stuff was kind of busted to begin with. I wonder if they ever got it sorted.
Yeah, I don't know there. I really don't know, but it just,
I wonder if it was supposed to be a lot faster and they just never got it working right and walked away.
Yeah,
which tends to be the thing.
Because so many of the loads, it's kind of like, why is this taking this long? Mm-hmm. Like, because one of the farming spots where I did it for a little while, where it's just this one small section, and the place I died was like 30 steps from where the bonfire was. Mm-hmm. yet I have a loading screen for like 30 seconds to reload that area after I get killed. It's kind of like, how come when I go to the bonfire and refresh the area, it's instant? But if I got killed, it's going to take this long for you to reload the level. It's one of those cases where it's like, why is this optimized this poorly?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So. But yeah, I mean, I will keep playing that and helping people and, you know, jumping in and farming stuff and probably do the New Game Plus eventually, but not right now. It did make me want to go back and beat Bloodborne because so many people that really enjoy those games are like, yeah, Bloodborne's like actually really cool and has some of the better boss fights. So I'll probably go back, but it's going to be a while. I just need to get out of that style of game.
Play something else.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of why I was like, I need to go back to Hitman, because that feels like, even though it's a third person, you know, going around killing everything, not everything thing, but, you know, it's like just the setting being that drastically different. Because I was like, I almost went and started The Witcher 3, and I was like, no, this is just going to feel too similar.
More fantasy bullshit. Yeah.
It's going to feel way too similar. And then I almost did Dead Rising 3, because, you know, something was announced at E3 that was like, yeah. So I might start that again. Yeah. And just restart it completely, because I played for a few hours and I was into it, but I wasn't like totally into it. I was like, there's enough other stuff I can play that I don't need to be on this.
Yeah.
So I'll probably go back to it. I think that'll be the one.
That's going to be the one?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think I'll get back to some Dead Rising.
Yeah. Well, speaking of things that were announced at E3 to inspire you to play something else, maybe, possibly. Okay, so there was this Resident Evil 7 thing at E3, because maybe they're going to fix that shit. So that got me thinking, you know, I've never properly beaten any Resident Evil game. Yeah. Like, I've always I play all of them, and I fuck around in the world forever, and then I'm just like, yeah, I'm good. You know?
Yeah. The only one I ever beat was Code Veronica.
Yeah.
And we beat Resident Evil 5 together.
5, sorry, yes.
Okay.
Maybe 4. Shit.
Usually what ended up happening with me is I'd get far enough and I didn't have a ribbon to save and would have to replay like an entire hour and then I'd quit.
Yeah. Well, let me tell you about that.
Yeah.
In Resident Evil for current gen systems.
Okay.
Which I'm guessing is the GameCube version up-resed.
Okay.
Maybe polished up a bit. So it is not the original Resident Evil.
It's the remake?
Yes. So at some point along the way, they changed the voiceover, so you don't get that terrible PlayStation 1 voiceover, the Master of Unlocking and all that bullshit. Most of the terrible VO has been stripped out and replaced by almost the same terrible VO, but in different ways.
Okay.
Like, what they're saying isn't stupid, but the way they're saying it is kind of broken, and there's just a lot of, you know, like, huh? What? You know, what is it? What? Just people saying people's names over and over again. So, Resident Evil.
Resident Evil. 1.
So I had forgotten about the save system when I started playing that. I mean, I remembered it, but I didn't. It wasn't so on my mind, so that I got a few hours into it and then died and was like, hell. I didn't do the typewriter thing. Shit, I've got to do all that over again. And then it becomes like this battle of like, I have to manage my resources because they're finite, and so you can't just run around the game. I mean, this is how Resident Evil was designed, but it's taken me a while to get back into that mindset of, okay, there's only a certain number of bullets in this game. I can't just run and gun through this thing. You have to strategize and you know, plan out how you're going to do stuff. So at first I almost bailed. I was almost like, I lost an hour of progress. I don't want to do this anymore. But for some reason I decided to be patient with this, because I just feel like this is kind of a seminal thing. You know, maybe I should really give this a shot. And I have found that I'm enjoying it for reasons I can't quite understand, because it is kind of going against all the things I like in games. I don't like the save system. I don't like the finite amount of resources and all that, and I hate sneaking around and being super careful. And also, you will just walk into a room and die. Like, you'll just walk into a room and all of a sudden the walls will start closing and you're like, wait, what am I supposed to do here? And dead. And you're like, well, shit, I didn't know that was going to happen. But I have to say that the design of that game, I know we've talked about like Dead Space and how Dead Space is designed just expertly, how like game theory was put into effect in that game. The design of Resident Evil is some of the smartest game design I can point to in how this house is laid out, like what's open to you, what's not open to you, where the puzzles are, where your resources are. Mm-hmm. It's very smart like that, and that's probably why I'm sticking with it, because I'm enjoying how that game has been put together. I think it's really remarkable, and I realized that I got to a point where in the original game I had never left the house. I didn't know there was anything outside the house in that game.
Yeah.
So I got to a point where I'm like, oh, I'm outside. Oh, I'm in some weird thing. There's fucking sharks here. What on earth? And it's just, when you start to realize that that game is not just a zombie game.
Yeah.
There's like giant snakes and giant sharks and giant spiders, and like after that weird mutation things start showing up, and you're just like, wow, okay. From the get-go, this game was something. I mean, there was really something to this. So it's that game can be a kick in the balls sometimes, and I will still die without having saved for like an hour, because I'm in like single digits on ink ribbons now, and I'm like, do I want to use one here, because I don't know if there's going to be any more. And then I'll just push on a little bit more, and maybe if I can get to the other side of the house where there's a typewriter over there, I won't have to backtrack and do all this shit. And then you just walk into a room and spider lands on your face and eats you.
Yeah, for someone like me who loves systems that are trying to force you to play the game a certain way, I hate the ribbon system.
It's bad.
I hate it. I hate the idea of every time you save feeling like you've wasted it somehow.
Yeah.
Like, I could have gotten further. I could have done this, you know, and that shit bugs me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a bad system. I understand why they didn't update it, because that's just the way the game was built. But, I mean, in this day and age, just autosave, just out of every room. You walk out of a room, you've got that long load screen where you have to stare at a door in a black background forever. So just save, just autosave right there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I made a hard push last night to get through it. Thought I was near the end, and then lost an hour because I died, and then basically put it down like, nah, I'm not going to go back to that right now, but I'll go back to it today. I'm compelled to see the end of that. I'm compelled to see it all the way through. The achievements in that game are kind of a dick, because they expect you to play through as both characters.
Oh yeah.
And I'd also forgotten that each character has kind of differences as the game plays out. So certain puzzles don't work a certain way depending on which character you pick.
Okay.
So...
Oh, because one's the master of unlocking?
Yes.
And one is not.
And one is not. Yeah. One is just a dude.
Yeah.
One doesn't know shit about unlocking. So, I don't know. That's also intriguing to me, in that there are subtle differences depending on which character you pick. Mm-hmm. And especially for a game from 96, I think that's super interesting. So, I don't know. It's good, though. I really like it. The remake, they kind of did away. You can play tank controls if you want to. Mm-hmm. You don't have to. They put in modern controls. But, man, modern controls on fixed background or fixed camera angles and scenes, fuck that. Because you will be running one way and then cut to a room where you got to run the other way, and you just start spinning around in a circle like an idiot.
Yeah, and they changed the dog scare, didn't they?
It still happened.
Okay.
You're walking down a room and it just jumps out of a window?
I think it's a different place they put it, though.
Okay, maybe they did.
Just to fuck with people.
Maybe they did.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I seem to remember that because it happened so early. Everyone...
It was later than I remembered, so they might have moved it, but the game's got some atmosphere. Music's good. Sound effects are still very low-res. Footsteps on material.
At least the load screens aren't old PS1 disc load screens.
No, they're better.
Yeah.
So,
have either of you ever played a Silent Hill game?
I played almost the entirety of the first one.
Yeah, I've played pieces of 1 and 2.
Okay, just never touched one, like not even a second.
I think they're better. Mechanically, they're better because they're not fixed camera angle. They're wandering through a world, but like 1 is dated severely.
Yeah,
and I appreciate they used the fog in that one to kind of mask the fact that the PS1 just couldn't handle a lot of that.
Sure.
But man, just hearing that freaking radios start getting the static.
Yeah.
Because Silent Hill was very much about you are unarmed. Like if you have something, you're not good at using it.
Yep.
Like if something's going to attack you, you better run.
Yep.
You know, it's kind of very much precursor to stuff like Amnesia almost, where, you know, or Outlast, where except you have some weapons, you know, and it's like you could probably fight off one guy if he came after you, but that's about it. You know, because you're just running around with a 2x4 and you're just a normal dude who's never fought anything in his life.
Yes.
You know, it's basically the premise of Silent Hill. So,
yeah, I was just curious. Like, I've never like touched a second of any of those games.
I'll admit, playing this has made me want some kind of version of that. Although didn't those come out, but they were broken?
I don't remember anymore.
Okay.
I don't think one has ever been kind of re-released.
Maybe not.
Because it's one of the, like the PS1 era, you have to remake those games.
Yeah.
You know, just like when they up-res the Nintendo 64 games, you know, like Perfect Dark or whatever on 360, you know, we all played and we're like, oh God, I forgot.
Yeah.
This is horrendous.
Yeah. I remember, well, I know that Resident Evil 2, they're having to do a full-blown remake of that.
I'm sorry, what game?
Resident Evil 2.
Oh, Resident Evil 2.
That's right.
Sorry.
Yeah, that they have to do a full-blown remake of that because there was no GameCube stopgap thing that they could just up-res. They're like, oh, we can't just fix this PlayStation 1 version.
I believe the GameCube version of it, because they actually re-released all of them on GameCube. But
they
remade the first one and then just up-resed all the other ones.
That's right. Yeah. But I mean, like, this has made me want to play that. This has made me want to go back and play, like, Parasite Eve, which I loved Parasite Eve on the original PlayStation. That game was great. I think
you can get it on a Vita.
Yeah, I probably own it. I probably was like, when they were selling it for $1, I was like, yes, I will play it on my Vita.
Yeah, a lot of that old Square stuff.
Well, aren't some of those things popping up on the PS4 now? Like the PS1 backwards compatibility stuff?
PS2 stuff.
Yeah, there's a lot of PS2 stuff. Because like I picked up Manhunt and Bully there.
Yeah. And we talked about it because I played like the Parappa game a bit. And there's 2.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, like, I haven't seen one popping up in the remake column.
Yeah, a lot of them are like, it's a case of like, oh, we put them out for PSP. So you could probably play them on the PS3.
Yeah.
But you have to have your PS3 hooked up, which I don't know many people that do anymore. So
I do. I need to play. I want to play Parappa 1.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
Yeah.
You got to believe.
Actually, I think now that I think about it, my PS1 is the backwards compatibility. Well, I just have to go find my disc somewhere.
Yeah.
Wherever that is.
Yeah, we're like the 2 people left whose PS3s from that era still work.
Mine does.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. High five then. All 3 of us.
Yeah.
Play PS1 games.
Hell yeah. Play some Theme Hospital.
Yeah.
That's primarily why I kept my PS3.
But yeah, if you want to play Silent Hill 1 or 2, I believe I have the discs somewhere. So
There
PS1, PS2 games, all of them.
Play Parappa. Because the art style doesn't make it look like a PS1 game.
Yeah.
That's very good point.
Parappa 2 on the PS4 played really well.
I know, but Parappa 2 wasn't very good.
No, I know that too, but I'm just saying, like, it looked and played really well because
some itches cannot be scratched.
I played that Star Wars racer game on the PS4 and was surprised how good that looked and played. So.
I have to kick punch. It's all in the mind.
I know.
Chuck.
I know.
Been working in the flea market so early. I've been working here since my mama was
there was a Silent Hill HD collection for like PS3 and 360.
Huh. Yeah, but that one was weird. Wasn't it just like Code Veronica and something else?
No, Silent Hill.
Oh, Silent Hill, sorry.
Silent Hill 2 and Silent Hill 3.
Yeah, see, it's something about those PS1 games, man. I can't get them off of there.
Weird.
Because they all look at them and go, fuck.
It's like, look, it's just blobs of nothing. How do we make that look like a real person? I don't know. Throw more polygons at it.
Yeah. That'll fix it.
Yeah. So anyway, that's my time with Resident Evil.
Oh, good.
I'm going to play more.
All right, so let's turn a corner.
Oh, turn a corner.
Yeah. Mobile corner. Mm-hmm. It's been a while since we had a mobile corner, if I remember right.
Sure.
I don't remember episode anymore.
Yeah.
Who knows? Yeah. It's been a while since we recorded, so yes.
Yeah, sure. I've only got one new one that was recommended by my dentist. He saw me messing around on my phone waiting for him. He's like, hey, what are you playing? I'm like, Twitter. He's like, oh.
That's a pretty shitty game.
Yeah, that game sucks.
Everyone tells you you're terrible at it. They want you to delete your account.
Yeah.
It's the worst. Yeah. But no, he said, all right, my wife and I, we've been playing one called Purelax. he said, yeah.
Okay,
said,
dentist man.
It sounds like something. He said it sounds like something you take when you're a bit plugged up, but it's a pretty good puzzle game.
Okay.
Because it's on a phone, so of course it is. But it is a lot like I don't know if you remember me talking about a game called Kami, where you are trying to eliminate colors from a board and
leave only red.
Yeah, kind of.
Oh.
That sort of thing.
Oh. Well, you said Kami, right?
Oh, Kami.
Oh.
It didn't click on my brain that way, but yeah.
I was with you.
Yeah. Okay. But yeah, it's you're pretty much, you have a certain amount of moves that you can make, and you have to clear the board of all but one specific color. And with Parallax, there are I want to say like
this
20,
one you'll leave only brown.
Yeah. There are 20 levels per phase, as they call them, and there are 6 phases.
Okay.
And if you beat 15 of them, you get to move on to the next one. And what you have is certain grid layouts where you might have blue, purple, green, and red. And you'll have certain objects on the board, certain squares will have dots on them. And the number of dots are the number of times you can move that piece.
Okay.
So if you have one with one dot, you can only move it one way. So if you have a purple one with a dot on it and you move it onto a red section, it is going to turn all of the adjacent reds purple. So that becomes your strategy, is figuring out, okay, what moves do I need to make to eliminate this color and then this color and then this color. And it's pretty good, but it is very frustrating in its ad stuff because it's a free game. But man, like restarting a level, ad. Got to wait 5 seconds before you can hit skip ad.
Do they offer a no ad? No, of course not.
No?
Yeah, they don't.
Wow.
Because I would easily offer them, the $1 or $2 to get it taken away, but they don't, which it sucks.
Yeah.
Which is kind of scary if they're getting that many like ad views off of this, but they must be. Because, but it comes up, restart a level. Like, if you hit continue after not playing the game for a while and you come up on a level and you're like, oh, I don't want to play this one. And you hit back to go back to the menu.
Ad.
You get an ad. I was like, fuck, guys. So it kind of... That's my biggest knock on it. Is that and it gets really hard as you go on. There's become some pretty complex maps that you have to navigate, and, it's not a case of, Kami was a little easier in that it was like, oh, you didn't do it in 6 moves, but you did it in 7, so you still cleared it.
Right.
But 6 is the optimal. This one is just like, nope, you didn't clear it. Start over. Figure it out. So, yeah.
Wow.
But I can still recommend it. Just be ready to sit through a lot of, unfortunately, forced ads for 5 seconds before you can skip them.
Sweet.
Yeah. Tell me about it.
Is your dentist getting a cut?
It's actually his game.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, maybe I need to check with him.
I made this poop.
Why the fuck did you name it Parallax?
Yeah. Don't put lax at the end of anything.
Yeah, really.
Yeah. So on the much larger corporate greedy side, I've been playing Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, which is that EA free-to-play Star Wars game thing.
Mm-hmm.
So normally I hate games like this. I hate the free-to-play market with like 6 different kinds of energy and coins and blah, blah, blah.
Yep.
So the reason why I can still kind of recommend this game is it's very generous with the stuff you need to play. Like getting the energy to play. It doesn't require much. They like every time you go up a level, they throw you some. Like there's lots of ways that it throws this stuff at you. So I haven't really ever hit that like, oh, well, very rarely do I hit the, I'm done playing because I can't, or, like, man, I just need to buy something. I never hit that point at all.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it's still kind of fun to me. Like the animations and stuff are cool, and I like going and kind of like trying to collect people, like you're trying to collect characters and things like that to do these battles. So like part of it feels like a cheap and easy version of like Magic the Gathering, because it's kind of like got that you versus the other team, and your guys can have powers and you can level them up a little bit to have better versions of powers. So it's kind of like looking at the situation and like, what people do I need to take into this fight because they have these powers. So it's fun. It's fun enough that like I can recommend it, and like I said, believe me, I keep these things at a far, far distance because they're either A, addicting, or B, they have these stupid systems that just well, come back in 6 hours and maybe you can play some more. And yeah, that's this way if you're, really obsessive about playing it. You will hit a point where it's like, all right, you're out of energy, wait. I think it takes 8 hours to recharge all your energy, so you could, in theory, play it 3 times a day all the way through. But, I don't. I just, once a day, maybe pick it up and check in and do a couple things. So it's a fun time waster. Graphics are cool. And yeah, it's Star Wars. And I like that. Anytime you fight against Darth Vader, they've got someone bad acting enough that every time you beat him, he's like, no, as he falls off the screen.
Nice.
Yeah. But yeah, it's it's dumb and it's fun, and they keep kind of adding new things to it that it could be one of those games like Supercard where eventually it's like, all right, guys, too much.
Yeah,
now
you've gone too far.
Too many systems, too many things to collect. Just fuck off.
Well, it's when they make all the stuff that you spent all the time building up worthless,
right?
Because you just need to get the new thing, and suddenly, that thing beats your old thing.
Well, all right. So what's cool about this is like, not only are you finding characters, like the characters have star ranks. So, all right, for example, like I found, like one of the first characters that they give you is like, it's Chewbacca, but it's like Clone Wars, era Chewbacca. So he's young and, there's a better, Chewbacca later in the game. Yeah. But like I can continue collecting the pieces of that Chewbacca and level him up to another star level. So like I can take the character up to the next level without having to just ditch him. So it's neat because like you can get a shitty character and level them up kind of like by feeding them cards, and I don't think like I think you could take a character all the way up and not leave them behind, if you will. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of an interesting take on it where, you hit a certain point, like Supercard, it's like, all right, just dump all that old shit because now there's, super ultimate cards and they do this and they're much better than those regular ultimate cards you just went and took all this time before to save up for. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, it's a fun time waster, which is what mobile games generally are.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mobile games.
Yeah.
That's why they're so tough, because there are no in-depth experiences.
Yeah, not really, no.
When everything has to be designed for like a 30-second play session.
Yeah.
It's tough to ever go any deeper with any of it.
Right.
It's unfortunate.
It's what the market decided on.
Yeah.
Pretty much. I mean,
well, the market's a jerk.
But yes.
All right, you're right. Actually.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to sound sarcastic.
But the main difference between that and old games that were 30-second play sessions, where if you had skill, it lasted way longer than 30 seconds.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And we learned that at the Southern Pinball Expo.
Yeah.
Southern Fried Game Room Expo.
Yes.
Right.
Pinball and arcade.
Yes.
2016, we were there.
Of which I didn't play a single arcade game.
I played one.
The only arcade games I played were the pinball machines that were virtual machines.
Yeah. Yeah.
But otherwise, I went to Atlanta.
Yay!
Met up with you guys.
Yeah.
Met up with listeners Jens and Jonathan.
Uh-huh.
Had some good times. Ate some burgers.
Mm-hmm. Boy, we had some burgers.
Played some pinball.
We also did that.
Yeah.
Man, that was a show. The third year for this thing. Mm-hmm. New hotel.
We were worried.
A little worried.
We were worried things were going to change.
Uh-huh.
It was the third time. Third time's usually something goes wrong.
Because they had a lot of stuff on their slate for activities and...
Yeah, including some, like... Does this belong activities? Like...
I think it does.
Well, like, we went to a wrestling event.
Yeah, there was a wrestling event at the show.
You guys did.
Yeah. We watched some wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
Dudes threw each other around, and a dude fought a lady. And then later, that dude and the lady walked around and played pinball.
Yeah, well, good for them.
Breaking kayfabe.
That's how, and also high scores.
Yes.
No, that's how these things work. But, I mean, like, they had Lance Guest, the last Starfighter, was there.
He was there.
I was just saying, like, it was creeping into the territory of, like, I don't know, like, I get it, but then are you, maybe doing some things that don't need to be here to sacrificing the, whole show integrity, not integrity, but... Like,
is your focus
changing too much?
And turns out, no.
Nah.
There were still a bunch of pinball machines there.
Yeah.
There were.
And they were all busy as hell.
Yeah.
Everyone was there to play pinball.
Yeah. But the layout of that area was better than anyone I've been to.
Yes, you never felt... There was one row in the very back where those two vendor tables were that was kind of crammed.
They put vendor tables too close to those. But other than that, man... There
was space. I mean, it was not... I mean, the previous two shows that we went to, there was one room where they just had... There were rows that if there were people playing machines, you couldn't walk down that row.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you right now, I mean, based on the fact that this was a new venue and kind of a new layout, they obviously did a lot of planning for the layout. I think what we're going to find next year is those vending people are now probably going to be where all the tabletop stuff was, because people were not taking to the tabletop like I think they thought they were. They had a very large area for the tabletop section.
There was some times when it was busy. It was never full.
Right. That's what I mean. I think we're going to see like that one that was, cramping the style in the back is probably going to be outside where the tabletop people were.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind the vending stuff being out there. You would get more exposure out there because once you're in the game room, it's like I have no time to look at your wares, sir. I have to play pinball now.
Right.
Whereas if it's outside, you're like you walk by it on your way in and like, oh, check this out. That's kind of cool. But
yeah, and that's the thing is so many of the ones outside never had people in them.
Yeah, that was weird.
Yeah.
There were obviously vendor tables set up.
Vendor tables with signs, and I just never, I rarely saw it. They were probably like, hey, man, there's pinball in there.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's go play some pinball.
Yeah. I don't know. I think for expanding in a way that they did, which this was definitely expanded from the previous 2 years. It seemed to me like they pulled it off relatively well.
Yes. I'm saying there will be slight shifts they will do next year. I don't think we quite need to make the tabletop section as big as we did.
Yeah. I felt bad for the console room. It seemed kind of small. And if you really wanted to get in there and play around, if it was in any way...
And I only ever saw the same games on any of them, which was kind of a bummer.
That is weird. They bring them in and set them up on one thing. Dreamcast is always Power Stone for some reason. And it's like, that's a good game, but you put Soul Calibur in there,
Hell yeah.
I mean, obviously the Nintendo systems are always either Mario Kart or Smash.
Yeah. Always.
But yeah,
But yeah, they had a lot of nice pinball machines there.
Yes.
They only locked a few behind the tournament. Like the Game of Thrones one that I've never been able to play was behind the tournament wall. And there were a couple other ones. But in general, they had everything out reasonably well. There were two Bride of Pinbot machines right next to each other, one of which was running a version 2 mod that Harlow eventually figured out how to shut off.
Yeah.
So you could play it the way Bride of Pinbot's supposed to be played.
Yeah, the whole thing was actually it's weird because it's emulated, the actual ROM is emulated. So if you hold down the start button like you're going to reset the game, it actually takes you to a boot menu. So you can pick whether you want to play their modified Space one, which is way more spacey. It's actually more like original Pinbot.
It's weird.
But then you can play the actual Williams version.
Yeah. It was there the year before, and they were showing it off. I think it was the first public appearance of this thing.
But the old one that was next to it, that was an original, had LEDs in it, and that one was nice. In great shape.
Yep.
There were very few
gorgeous table.
Yeah, there were very few machines that felt beat up and old. Because normally you go and there's some pristine ones, you tell this person's put a lot of love into it. And then there's some where the guy's like, yeah, I can get in free if I brought it, and it'll probably break on Friday night, but who cares?
Right.
I got in.
And there were a couple of those there. There were a couple that were never on.
Yeah.
The entire show, they were just off.
Yeah. And there were some where, like Whitewater, the little rainbow loop in the back would catch a lot on that. And the nice Bride of Pinbot, there was a point in the back corner where it would get stuck. Away from a bumper and everything. And one guy who was watching me have this freaking amazing run was like, yeah, that must have been the only way to stop you because I had to tilt it to get the damn ball out.
Yeah.
But
I think that this show in particular, and it kind of has been in the past too, the junky machines don't tend to show up.
Yeah.
The weak flippers and the bad plunger and everything. That's kind of Game Warp era shows of just people I got this machine, whatever.
Yeah, you need more machines, right?
Yeah. I got a Hollywood Heat.
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
Yeah,
which even when it's totally working is still
hot garbage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they also had an interesting setup as far as they had a section that was mostly 90s ones, and then they had it was almost like They had all the Jersey Jack tables together, along with a one of the remade Medieval Madnesses, and that was always busy.
Which I think there were 3 there totally.
There were two Medieval Madnesses.
Well, I think there was one in the tournament.
Yeah, there was.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
I think they had
3
3 of the remade Medieval Madnesses there.
Yep.
Yeah, which that table's still fun, regardless of whether you're playing it digitally or you're playing it there. It's a classic for a reason. You know.
Yeah.
And then they had a couple F-14 Tomcats, one of which was good, one of which was not.
That's the Atlanta F-14 Tomcat experience. Yeah.
Yeah. They had a bunch of the new Ghostbusters. It was smart for once they brought like 3 or 4 of them.
And they were showing all the different models. Or no, they were all the same.
All the same model.
Yeah, that's
they were
right.
all the base one.
That's right.
But yeah, I liked that machine the more I played of it. It's fast, though.
It is super fast and super slick. Like, you start it up and you're like, oh, well, all right, that was one ball. Let me figure out this. The most recent Stern tables are getting that way, where it's like, because I've kind of felt that with Game of Thrones and The Walking Dead too, where I was like, I would fire it up and it was like, I don't know what's happening. Oh, it's over. You know, it doesn't feel like a pinball machine like the other recent Sterns do, like ACD. Like, I figured out ACDC right away. It's like, oh, this is a pinball machine. It makes sense. Ghostbusters is like, well, what is that? Why is that over there? What?
Yeah, like the whole, you have to hit Slimer a certain number of times before you can activate anything else.
And they're kind of increasing their reliance on audio cues to do stuff, and it's hard to hear that stuff.
Yeah.
It really is. But Stern also had like a redesigned Spider-Man 3 table, which is now just Spider-Man.
Yeah, but
well, the original
comics.
one wasn't Spider-Man.
Yeah, the original one was just Spider-Man.
Right, but it was
But now it's redesigned to use comic.
Yeah.
Mostly
They took out
Mark
the-
Bagley artwork on it, which is what you want.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's weird how just changing, like, the layout is identical.
Yeah.
And the toys are
in the same
redesigned.
spot. Well, they're in the same spot.
Yeah.
So like the Sandman thing is the Sandman thing, but now it's got new toys. You know?
It plays really well.
Yeah.
I never liked that old Spider-Man
it
table.
brightens up the table
Yeah.
immensely.
Yep.
Like, it just looks, it's easier to see everything because it's bright and, you know, you've got clean, crisp line art on it, and it just, I liked it a lot.
Yeah, it's much nicer
Which
table.
I've always enjoyed how Spider-Man plays, but this, like, made it better.
Yeah, it wasn't junky. Because those Spider-Man tables are always beaten to hell.
I mean, not that I think it's different because the you know, it's not a dead franchise, but I'd like to see them do the same thing with the Iron Man table.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's probably not going to happen because the Iron Man, you know, cinematic universe is alive and well, but I still think that'd be pretty cool because I think that's a table that could be better too.
Well, if you can just relicense with the comic images, I mean, it shouldn't be a problem, you would think.
I mean, I especially like to see that happen with the Avengers table.
Yeah.
Oh, God, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, none of those there. And I realized I don't like the Jersey Jack machines.
No, I
all.
don't either. Not a bit.
They've got a weird feel to, like, just everything has a weird feel to it.
Yep. Kind of strange, kind of
like
off.
almost delayed.
Yeah.
With everything, like you hit a trap, it just doesn't feel like nothing feels quite right, and they're very unclear about what you're supposed to be doing anyway. Like, they rely so much on the video screens on the top that you know, it's one of those things where you have to be watching both, and that's not fun to me. And also, like, they're weird in that you either have like the longest run of your life or you're done in like 20 seconds.
Yeah.
And there feels like so little in between on them in the multiple times I played them. So
yeah, they both just feel like they went all for visual design and not, you know, play style design at all. Like, because they look great.
Oh, sure.
You know, I mean, both of them, especially the Wizard of Oz one, it's just like every little piece on the table is thought out. You know, but it's just, it's like they just don't have the game designers, the ones that know play flow and things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you just think about playing the Hobbit one and then going over to Lord of the Rings from 10 years ago.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that Lord of the Rings one is just a phenomenal machine.
Yeah.
I like that more every single time I play
Oh,
it.
absolutely.
Yeah, we had a good time playing that.
And the crazy thing is, like, I was doing really good on that one, and like that one, the main ring Sauron shot was so much harder to hit than some of the other ones I've played.
Yeah.
And that's like a really important one, is to hit that shot in the back of the table.
Like you could get it up there, but it wouldn't register all the time. It was like,
well, yeah, because
something would
I think
just
the other
fall
one's
out.
supposed to have a magnet or something. Actually, like when you get it close, it just draws it in.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like it's still a great table.
Yeah, but that one had a weird thing that we'd noticed this year, in that the digital, the DMD display, that shows your score and has the animations and all that. For some reason, so many of them had this smoothing turned on, which, if you've ever emulated a 16-bit game and you turn on that weird smoothing that just doesn't look right.
People love it.
Tons of machines had that, and it felt like, going to your grandparents' house and their TV has the smoothing on. You're like, no, let's shut this off immediately.
Right.
How did you not notice?
Where's your remote?
Yeah. We're shutting this down. It was that same feeling, and it was just machine after machine. I mean, ones where, like, if you own a Medieval Madness, you know what the hell you're doing. Like, why do you have it on this garbage DMD display?
I don't know. That didn't bother me in those at all. But
they didn't look right to me. It bothers me in the same way as emulating old arcade games and putting that smoothing thing on. It's just like, this is gross. Why are you doing this?
Yeah, and it looks worse.
Yeah.
Like you have a way that looks fine. Why would you choose to make it look worse?
Exactly. And
there were a ton of machines that had that.
I don't know who's making them. I don't know who decided, like, this is the thing we need to sell, or I don't know. But
yeah.
There was someone who was a big fan of the Foo Fighters.
Yeah.
And they took a Rolling Stones machine and redid it as a Foo Fighters machine.
Everything.
Yes.
Except for the box art on the actual cabinet.
Yeah. The cabinet art was still the Rolling Stones, but everything else had been.
The back glass was this weird Foo Fighters.
All the audio, everything.
Yeah. They had like an alien in the middle where Mick Jagger usually is.
Yes, which is more satisfying.
Yeah. They redid the bumpers so it just sounds like someone banging away on the drums.
Oh my god, yeah, the pop bumpers are the most amazing thing to get the ball launched up there, because it is just somebody spazzing on the drums like you wouldn't believe.
Yeah. And so we were waiting in line to play it, and there were two Foo Fighters fans.
I mean, it was up close to the show, so when we first walked in, we were like, is that a Foo Fighters table? And then we kind of Chuck and I had this conversation of I don't dislike the Foo Fighters, but I'd never thought of the Foo Fighters as something that would someone would be a big enough fan to do this.
Yeah.
And we were like, this seems like a strange thing, and just kind of promptly forgot about the Foo Fighters table until it was like, we should probably play that.
We should try it and see what the hell it's about.
Yeah. And they had the headphone mod.
Right.
That guy had a nice pair of Beats headphones to go with it.
Yeah, so you could hear the hot Foo Fighters tracks.
And so we're standing there, we're going over to play it, and there's two ladies taking pictures with the table, and we're like, and kind of saw them, and I think you offered, we're like, hey, would you like us to take a picture of both of you? And they're like, oh my god, thank you, we're such huge Foo Fighter fans. We actually came here to see this table.
Yeah, they're like, this is why we're here.
Yeah, we like pinball, but we specifically came here to see this, and we're like,
is mayonnaise their favorite food? I mean,
I don't know. They had Foo Fighter tattoos on the back of their necks.
Yeah.
I mean, it was.
I can't imagine anyone caring that much. That was the weirdest thing about it. It was who has this much money not only to own a Rolling Stones table, but then to put in the work to do a complete conversion of everything in it.
Yeah, but then to go, nah.
and to go, Foo Fighters.
Yep. I know. I don't know. I don't get it. But those ladies were perfectly nice, by the way. Foo Fighters fans are very nice. I just didn't know they were Foo Fighters fans.
Yeah. The Foo Fighters, they're like, well, these are on the radio.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Crazy. But, but you can't knock the work that they did on that machine.
No. It was pretty impressive.
Yeah.
The one thing I don't get about these cons, and the first one, there was someone there, but this one for the last 2 years really hasn't had it, is that there aren't any dealers there of old classic arcade or video games, like cartridges and stuff like that. The first year, I ended up buying a ton of stuff because I just kept stopping at that table and was like, I'm going to buy these cartridges because they're here and it's cool. And for the last 2 years, there hasn't been any vendors of any type like that. They're just kind of weirdly specific, this is our weird homebrew Atari mod for something, or charity stuff, which was there was a lot of that.
Yeah, and they only had the one parts vendor there.
Yeah,
and normally there's multiple parts vendors all over the place. The one in Orlando in November, there was an entire room that was just all right, man, you want rubber, you want plungers, you want anything. We had everything.
They had back glass art and toppers and stuff for some of the popular tables.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that seemed odd. But it also felt odd to me, like this was the first one where I've seen dozens of virtual machines there. And there was one that was like running, I don't know if it's PinMaim or whatever the other one was, like that has no lighting and is just like a scan of the thing and then mapped on, which is terrible.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, just straight up.
Yes.
It's bad. It's really bad. And I played like one game on it and was like, nope, I'm never touching this again.
Yeah.
That's most of the virtualized tables.
They seem to be built for Pinball FX tables. But then
and there was one area that had like 8 or 9 of them.
Yeah.
And they were all running Pinball FX on Steam.
Yes.
And I played a few machines, like a few tables worth on that, and I was like, yeah, this is cool.
Yep.
But I can play this like I don't need a stand-up cabinet to do this.
If you had money to burn, it would be kind of cool.
I guess.
Kind of cool, but
kind of, but not really.
You know, to save up and really go for that, I don't know. And you know, the virtually recreated stuff that's not Pinball Arcade stuff, that's at, you know, just like they scan the table and that's it. That's all the work they do. That stuff is just so frustrating to me. I mean, it's great that, you know, you get the backglass art and it's a faithful looking recreation, but just playing it is,
there's no lighting, there's no shadow, there's no
depth, which is the main problem.
Yeah. It's just bad.
Yeah.
You know, there's no other way to put it.
The second they turn like Farsight or whomever sells out to the Pinball FX people and they have a dual monitor cabinet mode for Pinball Arcade, I will start building that virtual cabinet.
Yeah.
I will do that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, because for all our knocks on Farsight, they know how to make the actual emulation part of the table work.
I mean, all the assets are there. They just need to like let you do a dual or 3 or triple monitor setup, you know. Oh, hey, you want to put the back glass up here? You want to put the DMD on this and put the playfield here? Sure, we can do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what new stuff do we see that we liked? There was a Godzilla machine.
Yeah, I'd never seen that before.
Which looks cool as hell. I mean, granted, it's Godzilla 98.
Was that a real table or was that like a...
That was an actual...
Oh, I just figured that was like a fan-made
No, that was a table that came out for the release of Godzilla.
Huh.
Sega, I think, right? Sega table?
Sega was doing all of those in the late 90s.
Yeah.
Because they did Starship Troopers and Apollo 13 and something else.
Twister.
I can't believe there's an Apollo 13 table. That's the weirdest thing.
With 13 balls.
13 multi-ball.
Yeah.
Just like the movie. Yeah, the Godzilla table is all right. You know, it's sad that it's based on just the worst possible thing. That's the kind of thing that someone needs to come along and just make it a Japanese Godzilla table and really make it cool.
Yeah, ditch Gino.
Yeah. So yeah, I'd never seen that before.
Fathom was an old one I really liked.
I've seen Fathom before, but not in this good condition.
Yeah.
Like, of that row of tables, Fathom was the best.
And that was one of those like late 70s, early 80s era.
Where they
still... Well, there's no ramps. Like basically, it's if it doesn't have any ramps, that's kind of...
Yeah, it's when like pinball machines really started emphasizing the art and the theme.
Yeah.
But the mechanics of the pinball still hadn't changed from the 60s.
Yeah, it feels very Gorgar-ish.
Well, if you want that, I want everyone to stop listening, put us on pause for a second, go to the pinball database, and look up the one that we did find, which is Skateball.
Skateball.
Yep.
Man.
Because right next to Fathom.
Yeah, it was.
Man, you want to talk about a style and a theme on a pinball table?
Skateball.
Skateball. It's not just a table, man.
No, man.
It's a way of life.
Yeah. We were just chilling and playing some skateball.
Yeah, man. We were doing a little... I wouldn't say competitive. I would just say we were seeing how our scores might look next to each other.
Yeah, you know, how they might
skateball
gel together.
And it came to the third ball, and I had enough score. I didn't need to play the third ball.
That was good.
I just let that skateball go.
Mellow out, man.
Just let it go, man.
Let's go get in our van.
Yeah. Skateball.
When you see the artwork for Skateball, you'll understand why we're all saying it this way.
Yeah, it's... Think of every late 70s movie you've ever seen that takes place, you know, on planet Earth. It's just vans and people on roller skates and...
No, that was a skateboard, man.
Oh, right. Right. That's right, it was. You know, this probably was built to go to all your hot skate parks.
Yeah.
You know,
but...
Or you could play it down at the pier when you're hanging out with your friends.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like gameplay-wise... Like the very late 80s and early 90s will always be like the best time for me.
Yes.
But design wise, like as far as themes and artwork and all that, like that, like 1979 to 82 will always be the best.
Yeah.
Just the best, because they weren't licensing movies. They were just like, what would be cool? How about mermaids dragging a dude down into the depths, and we'll call it Fathom.
Yeah.
And it's like blue and green and just cool looking.
It's just dudes sitting around drawing sick art and then being like, all right, that's a pinball table now.
Yeah, like Centaur.
Centaur.
Like, what if it was a pig dude, but then he was a centaur? And then somebody's like, well, what if the centaur horse part was a fucking motorcycle with spikes? And the dude's like,
hell yeah.
fuck yes.
I'm hard right now.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about that.
Man.
Yeah.
And then they did that, and they're like, well, we got to have a babe on it somewhere. It's like, well, shit, the babe's into pig motorcycle guys.
Yeah.
Put her on the back.
Yeah.
Right.
She's riding that shit, man.
Yeah. And that's the thing, too. Like, Centaur.
Yeah.
When you play that on Pinball Arcade, that is fatiguing to look at.
Yes,
like,
it hurts your
black,
eyes.
white, and red, and that's it. And it just hurts to look at on a virtual screen.
Yeah.
When you're playing that for real, that table's kind of awesome looking. Like, it's so, and that's kind of why the whole actual machine thing will never quite work digitally.
Yeah.
Because being able to look at everything and having the tactile feel, and just like the lighting in the room making a difference, I wonder how much VR stuff will change it, as far as, okay, I can get my angle right and look at things, and, oh shit, where's that going? Be able to look and not have to hit a button to do it.
Right.
But it's still, like, there's just something about being in front of those things that's still awesome.
Yep.
Like, every time.
Yeah, like, I mean, even if it probably will never come because of licensing problems, but like that old EM Superman machine probably from the 60s. Like, I can guarantee you look at that, if they ever put that in Pinball Arcade, you'd look at it and be like, yeah, okay, whatever. But like, you see that thing in real life, and something about the lighting and the backglass light and just the chrome and reflectiveness of it, it's just like the most gorgeous table ever. Like, I mean, it is just spectacular to look at.
Yeah, like that 70s Spider-Man one that was at Game Warp a few years ago. That was phenomenal looking.
Yeah.
Just a phenomenal looking thing. But when you play it in Pinball Arcade, you'd be like, oh, it's kind of yellow.
Yep.
There's such a difference for seeing these things in person, which is why, we can't recommend going to these enough, which is why it's so disappointing that I don't get to go to so many.
Yeah.
And that the one this year here in town pushed it back to next March.
Yeah. Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. I really hope that the actual Pinball Arcade in Vegas, like, I hope they get some funding or do better, because, like, man, that was so disappointing to go back and just see the machines in such disarray. Like, because, I mean, it's such a great collection of machines, and they just need someone to work on them a little bit more.
Yeah, and they had dedicated dudes
Yeah.
at this show with their kits and everything, who, like, even like when machines weren't breaking down, they were like, okay, there's nobody on this one, I'm going to flip it open. And
Yeah, there was that guy
Go
waiting
ahead and fix
behind us for Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
And we're like, go ahead. And he was like, fine. And then just started opening it up. We're like, whoa, wait, what are you doing?
Yeah.
It's like just shopping it out.
Well, I like that one of they had two Jurassic Parks there, and one of them had the old head, and
Yes.
one had a new modified one that looked like the one from the movie.
Yes.
So good.
Yep.
Jurassic Park is one of the few Data East tables that doesn't suck,
That is
and
true.
in fact is kind of awesome.
Well, we haven't seen a good one, but I love that Tales from the Crypt table when it's working right. I mean, we just haven't come across it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm holding reservation for when one actually
Like,
works.
that is a fun table when it works right.
Yeah. And there was a really, really well working roller games there.
It's the same one we see. That's
that
the
is the
same.
same one?
It's the same
Okay.
roller games we always see. So
Yeah.
But,
Yeah. And we all mastered Taxi.
oh, yeah.
We all
Yeah,
reset the jackpot multiple times. We reset the jackpot so many times we decided we couldn't use it as our tournament table
Yeah.
because we were all too good at it.
Yep.
that was weird.
I think I hit 3 jackpots on it, so I was like, yeah.
Yeah, I hit 2.
This can't be a tournament table because that's a progressive jackpot.
Yeah, I mean, I set the high score on the machine, which, if you know me in pinball, I suck at pinball. So just every once in a while, I just go Rayman on this thing and just be like, I'm in the zone.
Well, you also got a max jackpot because it
yes.
maxed out. So.
Well, that's skill, baby.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I'm saying you didn't do that.
I did it.
The scores of people playing before that didn't get the jackpot
I
did that.
did it.
All right.
I did it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So-
You're very good at pinball.
Yeah, so Whirlwind ended up being our tournament table.
Uh-huh.
After much decision,
Yeah.
It was kind of like we were like, all right, which one's not too crowded? Which one's in good condition?
Which one's within walking distance of where we are?
Yeah, which one doesn't have a progressive jackpot that's going to make it unfair for somebody?
Yeah.
And we're like, we all know how Whirlwind works. So let's do Whirlwind.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think we wanted to do that Bride of Pinball table, but it was too damn popular.
Yeah.
We couldn't do that.
Yeah. Well, and you and I were both just in the zone that weekend.
Well, I mean,
like we were...
Obviously, Bride of Pinball is one of those, like, if you manage to get the billion point shot or even spin the big wheel, it's game over for the other people, probably.
Yeah, and that was kind of it, because you and I both had the billion point shot live. We just missed it.
I don't think I actually spun the big wheel. I just saying I got it up to metamorphosis. I didn't lock the balls after that.
Okay,
I'm saying, like,
I had done that.
Like, spin the big wheel, it gives you at least 5 million points, which is a giant jump on that table. So.
And gives you an extra ball.
It probably did on that one, because that one was set for extra balls like every 5-10 million, something like that.
Yeah.
Which is also why we'd be there on that one machine in one game for over 20 minutes, and people, like, a line would form behind us. But
speaking of, I think we can probably go out of Pinball Talk by maybe sending a plea out there.
Oh?
Yeah.
If you're listening, don't be asshats at these things, for the love of God.
Yeah, there are enough machines. Like, if you've had your turn...
Yeah.
Move on.
Like, the one asshole guy who goes up to a machine and starts a 4-player game for themselves, fuck you.
Yeah.
Like, really? Fuck you. Like, I don't know who you think you are or why you think you have the right.
Chuck, who are you talking to right now? People that are like that don't listen to other people.
They
wouldn't listen to podcasts because that's someone else talking.
Maybe their wife is listening and might pass it along.
They would they would have their own podcast, and they'd have the only listener be themselves.
I guess that's true, but there are people who go to these things who have this weird sense of entitlement of, I'm at a pinball thing, pinball's my jam, I'm going to go and monopolize a machine because I'm Mr. Pinball person. Those people can go fuck themselves.
Yeah.
Like, I don't get it. I don't know how you go to these things and act that way. You see there are hundreds and hundreds of people all around you. No. We had an instance where someone was playing a game, turned around and looked us dead in the face, knew we were waiting for the next game, and then turned right back around and started up the machine again.
Yep.
I mean, what?
Yeah, I don't get it. I really don't. And it wasn't even like that person. I can understand if you've had a shitty game, if you just got fucked. But, like, that person had been on it for 5 minutes already.
Yeah, we'd been standing there a while.
Yeah. So, like, I don't understand how people just can't be considerate about it. Because really, even at its worst, at that, at the busiest it was at that place, there was always a machine with only one person on it.
Yeah.
Oh,
you can get in line for anything.
Certainly, you're going to have to wait for Medieval Madness. You're going to have to wait for Whitewater. You're going to have to wait for the Jersey Jack ones, and especially Ghostbusters.
Yes.
You're going to have to wait for those. But otherwise, there's always something else that you can play. So just be cool to people about it,
And I don't want to make it sound like a lot of people were dicks. The dick ratio there was small, and
oh yeah, and Sunday, man, people were super nice on Sunday.
Absolutely.
I don't know what it was about Sunday, but people are just like, "Hey man, you want to join our game?" I'm like, "No, I'm okay waiting, but thank you."
Yeah, there was a lot of that, and I think some people probably got their drink on Saturday night, and it just carried on through to Sunday because they were they were skateballing. They were feeling no pain.
Yeah.
So yeah, there was the yeah. But there were some people who were incredibly nice, and most of the people understand the etiquette of these things. But man, it's just there are some, and it's weird. It's like these pinball elites that it's like people who are taking a break from the tournament.
I really think in the future we should just walk up and turn the machine off when they do that, and be like, "Well, if you feel that entitled to pinball, I also know how to operate a table." And
honestly,
just turn it off
if they start a game, we should just hit 2, 3, 4.
Yes.
Be like, you're working us in, right?
Yeah, here we are.
Yeah, there's 3 of us. There's one of you.
Yeah.
No, I'm just saying, walk right around. I know where the off switch is.
Yeah.
Just flip the damn off switch and be like, "Oh, you're that entitled to pinball, huh? Well, I know where pinball works too, and I just turned it off for you. Do something."
Yeah. Okay, one other thing I want to talk about, and then we can wrap it up, is the other new machine that was there. The Great Big Melons one, or whatever the fuck that was.
Big Juicy Melons, yeah.
That's like a couple years old now, I think.
Is it?
Yeah.
I had never seen it before.
Debut of that, yeah.
I thought it was a new thing because they had it right up front, but...
I mean,
it still kind of is.
Yeah. Man, fuck that table sideways. Like, for real. What the fuck was that all about? Because it's designed to be like an old...
It's an EM. It's a modern day EM machine.
An old EM machine.
Yeah. Which I get. I get the nostalgia for. Maybe you want to make one of those,
but the design is like all the worst, just lecherous bullshit.
It was the only way they could make it compelling in a sick way was to do that, because who gives a fuck about an EM table, a new EM table? So they're like, well, let's make it gross.
Yeah, let's have a chick holding watermelon.
Yeah.
2 of them up in front of her chest.
Yeah, and just put every dude on the screen and just drooling.
It was...
yeah, and it's not fun.
Yeah, that's its biggest sin. Despite all that garbage, like Metallica. I love the Metallica table. I want to reskin that and put Foo Fighters on it or something, because fuck everything about the design of the Metallica table, like the childish 14-year-oldness of it.
Yeah,
like it's one that I'd be kind of embarrassed to have in my house.
Yeah,
but I also wish I owned that, because that table is so much fun.
Yeah,
but
I wish it was like actual Metallica and not that gross cartoon bullshit.
Yeah, that would work. You do it in the AC/DC style.
Yes,
and sign me up. But with the art design of it, it's like, ugh, it's gross.
Yeah,
and that great big juicy melons, whatever the fuck it's called, terrible.
Yeah, it's just big juicy melons.
Big juicy melons.
It's just repulsive on just about every level. Honestly,
it is kind of.
It's
gross.
like I thought we got past this, guys. Like. Yeah. Because there's a certain, you look at Skateball and there's a chick in like a wet t-shirt basically with nipples showing through the thing, but there's this weird good-natured charm like of the time thing about all of it.
That's
you go down to the pier and
where it was like, but even that just doesn't ape that style the way it should. It feels gross and ingenuine in a way that the old ones don't. Where it was like, this was in a biker bar, so who cares?
I don't know. I guess I just don't feel as offended by it, because my favorite table is Bride of Pinball, and that's a gross table.
If you think it is kind of gross. Yes.
Sure. I mean, one of the shots that you need to hit to get an extra ball is basically encircling her robot titty.
Mm-hmm.
And the shots now I can speak. Oh no, I mean, there's things about it that are gross, but it's a fun as hell flow table.
But I guess the point is like, but we all know that we've kind of moved past that.
I get it. Yes.
So,
they went retro in a way that was like, you went retro in attitude as well, which is no one's embracing that.
Mm-hmm.
No one, like what is the audience for this? Which is the weirdest thing to figure out. Like, you made a new one of these. That's neat. It's an interesting experiment, but you put all the sexual innuendo on it, and it's like, I don't want this in my house.
I think it would have been funnier if they... I mean, you couldn't... I think they were just going for a shock value, like to market a thing that like a very small percentage of pinball players wanted anyway in the EM retro table. But I think it would have been funnier to just have like literally most of those old, especially ones that's trying to ape, had like no theme. Like your San Francisco table, where it was just like, here's the name of a city.
Yes, exactly.
Enjoy our pinball based on city.
Yeah. And the pinball has nothing to do with San Francisco.
Yeah. Right. Or you think about like Mata Hari, where they got this girl with like double E tits on it in a genie outfit or something.
Yeah.
And it's just some guy walking in the back like, I do magic.
Yep.
And like that's and it's like that's the theme of the table.
Right.
Even like, but that's not like poking you in the ribs and winking at you like this one is.
Sure,
like that I guess that's my point, is it's not it's overdone.
I just think you could have put a kid's theme on this and put it somewhere, and it would have been more accessible than this.
To be fair, design of the table is cool because it doesn't have traditional legs.
Yes.
The whole thing is meant to look like a barrel. Mm-hmm. I mean, the box art and everything looks like a stack of crates or barrels.
Yeah.
Or crate and barrel.
Oh,
yeah. Classy.
But I'm just saying, like, that's cool about it. Like everything else, not so much.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But it was a great show. Mm-hmm. That hotel was like, holy crap. After the International Palms incident.
Well, yes.
of Game Warp.
Yeah.
Like being at a hotel like this where it's like, no, this is a classy ass place.
Yeah. This place is legit.
Yeah. So was the other one, but yes, this one is too.
Yeah.
This one's nicer than the other one. The other one was nice. This place was fancy.
We walked in, I was like, wow, they're having it here?
Yeah.
Like you're kind of surprised, like, man, all these pinball people in this place.
Yep.
We are classing down the joint here.
Yeah.
Because there was like somebody's 50th anniversary party.
Yeah, there was no prom to crash.
It was everything that night.
It was a silver hair anniversary party. And those people looked confused.
Oh yeah, they're like, why is this dude walking up in a Doctor Who t-shirt?
Yeah.
What is going on here?
Yeah.
Doctor, what is going on?
I always get to these
No,
things.
I'm asking my friend over here, Doctor.
I always get to these things a day early, and so being there on a Thursday before there were any signs of pinball people anywhere, it was all just rich, fancy business fuckers, and it was just like, oh man, they don't know what's about to happen here.
Yeah.
Rich fancy business fuckers is my follow-up to Big Juicy Melons.
Okay, good.
Yeah. All right.
But yeah, good trip.
So from one convention to another.
Uh-huh.
Should we talk about E3?
Yeah, probably a little bit.
Yeah, let's
some
talk about
people might
E3.
be a little tired of hearing about it, but let's
We could talk about like things we saw that were like, that sounds cool. I can't wait for that.
things that are personally interesting to us.
Yes.
I think is the way we should take upon
Absolutely.
take upon E3.
Okay. Yes.
Yes. I don't know if that's a correct phrasing. Yes.
Yeah.
Lay us upon these games, or whatever the fuck it was I said way back when.
Lay us upon
Lay
them.
us on them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We all knew it was coming, but Forza Horizon 3 looks amazing. I want to play that right now.
Yep.
And I've been playing
You can
Forza
in a couple
Horizon
months.
2 because I want to play Forza Horizon 3.
Yeah, I will obviously probably get Forza Horizon 3. I just don't feel like I don't feel like I devoured 2 enough to like I need another one yet.
Man,
There's a lot
you
to
didn't play it
ingest
like
about-
Chuck and I did.
Okay.
Yeah. That's the thing. There's so much there.
Okay.
So much stuff there.
Yep. I just last night finished smashing all the boards. All
Yeah.
the little reward boards.
Did you pay to get the thing?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I did too. It's just easier.
Yes.
It's one of those like I could waste all the time like double checking a thing on my phone or just do it.
Yeah. That's what I did after I died in Resident Evil. I was like, I'm just going to smash some boards and Forza. And then like 2 hours later, I was like, I've only got 7 left.
Yeah.
Smash them.
I would say my first impression, like the thing I most want from E3 is that new God of War.
It looks
Yeah.
interesting.
They're definitely doing something different with it. I mean,
Yeah.
they don't have the, it's not the fixed camera anymore. You control the camera. The boss fight felt a bit Dark Soulsy, a little bit, like in the way it worked. I mean, granted, there were no on-screen prompts, so I don't know for sure if that's what they were going for, but it very much felt like a Tomb Raider almost.
Kind of, yeah.
Was
that
the
sort
feel
of
that I had
adventure-y,
from it.
Yeah. Yeah, it does seem like that, but it's what they needed to do. They
Yeah.
couldn't make another one of those
And
any
they
other
have
way.
said it is the same Kratos.
Yeah.
So that's interesting already.
Yeah. That and followed up closely by the Insomniac Spider-Man game. I don't give a shit what that suit looks like. That game
Yeah.
looks fucking amazing, and I'm totally in on that.
It's about time. I'm glad that Marvel has come out and said, yeah, we're going to start making some awesome video games for consoles.
Good. Like put them. Yeah, that's what they need to do. Is like put them with studios that people like.
Yes.
Instead of just just farm this out to whom.
Well, they specifically said, like, they went around shopping out their properties, and they were like, okay, the person who's going to get to make these games are the people who want to make them, not just like, yeah, we'll make your game.
Well,
we're
I
going to
think
shit
it's-
out your game.
Well, I think it's like they saw DICE and Battlefront, like how that went together. It was like, oh yeah, yeah, maybe this.
Yeah, I mean, until that reveal, I was always just flabbergasted that there was no Marvel video game universe happening. Like, it didn't have to be tie-ins. It could have been its own, like the Batman games. It could have been its own thing. And it just seemed like they were leaving money on the table by not doing that.
Well, you'd get a couple of gems here and there, like when Raven made that Wolverine game. It's like,
God, that
shit,
game's so good.
That game rules.
Boy, that
Yeah.
game is awesome.
Yeah, but like, those were like, oh, that's just weird happenstance that like, guys, we actually have this license. Let's make a fucking badass game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like they had to. They just were like,
Well, they're
no.
going to real studios because I'd say, but there's no B-tier studios left.
Not really. They're doing mobile.
Those don't exist anymore in that same way. So you can't just farm out a Thor game and a Captain America tie-in and that sort of stuff. Those don't work anymore. I think they realize that if you're going to be doing a real game like this, you have to have real studios behind it. And maybe that's a good thing that the Disney stuff fell through.
Yeah.
Disney's basically out. So now they're like, all right, let's let people who actually give a shit do this.
And all the people complaining about the costume, I guarantee you there will be unlockable costumes.
Oh,
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
You
And
can play,
they'll
you can play as Stan Lee.
That's
yeah.
a fucking given.
They'll probably give you the normal one you want right off the bat. Like, oh, here, just go to the menu and change it because we don't want to hear you whine.
Yeah, just please,
Look,
please understand.
Look, the spider is black now. Are you happy?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's really your only complaint, right?
right.
Yep.
Yeah, that looked good.
Mine, I think Dead Rising 4 was the game I was like, all right, sign me up. even though I feel like Dead Rising has lost something in embracing the cartoonishness that used to be kind of like the bonus unlockable stuff in the first one.
Oh, and I don't know.
The first one it has goofy stuff, but it wasn't like you're immediately making candy cane crossbow firing thing.
That's true. Okay.
It was very much like, okay, eventually you unlocked this. Like the main thing for killing the population of the city was you got Mega Man's blaster.
Right.
Which had limited shots in it. It wasn't everything, but it's like that goofy stuff. I mean, you could put those big heads because they were around the like you had to create that goofiness, whereas like it felt like as they've gone on, they've been like forcing the goofiness on you almost instead of letting you just naturally make it happen.
Yeah.
But still, like it's back in Williamette, the original city, with Frank West at Christmas time.
Christmas time.
Sign me up.
Yep.
All about it.
Yeah. Yes.
And it's official. We're getting upgraded consoles. They're going the whole iPhone route, where it's, hey, all your games will run. They'll just run a little better.
Yep. That's happening.
I have heard from people that have seen side-by-sides. If you don't have a 4K TV.
See, that's what I don't get, in that it seems like people have been asking for both machines to run games better.
Yeah.
And it sounds like they're going to do that, but for the benefit of people with 4K TVs. And it's like, well, wait, what if you could just make people with 1080p TVs work better first? That's the upgrade I would like to pay for.
Yeah. Well, the way it was put to me by more than one person who has seen these side-by-sides is they basically said, when you put the 1080p next to the 4K, you can tell immediately.
Okay.
But when you put the 1080p next to 1080p but better, it's smoother, and that's about it.
Yeah, all I want from consoles at this point is I want them to run at their designated frames per second, not drop, and let's kill some loading times.
Yes.
And also, like, let's turn on a few more things that I know you were turning off because of the limitations. Like, make the grass just that little bit nicer or whatever.
Yeah. I ever since this whole...
look at Just Cause 3 with some of that, 90-second loading screens and shit.
Well, yeah, sitting through, dying in Dark Souls and having to sit through those load screens. Yeah, sign me up for speeding that shit up.
Yeah.
That's what I want. I mean,
Like, this whole generation, I have not been the resolution guy because, like, for me, it's not... Who cares? 720, 1080. It's like, there's a difference, but it's not enough for me to go, it's so bad. It's not standard def to HD. It's not that bad. But, if I'm looking at a game that's maybe rendering at 900p or something, but it's crippling at a frame rate, it's just chugging. It's just not doing it. It's like, Just Cause 3, especially, like, when you start firing everything off in that game and everything is exploding, I want that to look awesome and not just be like, oh God, we have broken the system.
How about be able to make, like, the PS4 be able to run Broforce when you blow things up on screen?
Sure,
like a simple little fucking game like that, and it dies.
Yeah. It's just when news of this stuff first broke, it seemed like, okay, great, now the games are going to run better. And then, like, when the messaging came out, the official messaging, it became like, yeah, this is for 4K. And we're like, whoa, hang on. Yeah. You're jumping past, like, hey, make it good for everybody first, and then focus on this 4K stuff.
That's my argument with this whole push for 4K everything. It's like, DirecTV is going to have 4K channels. Like, fuck you. How about you get everything you have in regular HD first?
Yeah. Yeah, it's still 1080i at best, and that's usually sports.
I'm just saying, like, all these channels that you don't even have an HD feed of. How about you do those first? You could put, I'm pretty sure you could put 4 of them on there and kill that one 4K channel that's for 1% of the population.
Yeah, I mean, it seems to be catering to a crowd that isn't there yet.
Yeah. And then Microsoft went and announced a smaller version of their current console.
Yeah.
And then immediately teased Project Scorpio. It's like, well, let's just kill that on the vine. Who the fuck's going to buy the S?
Yeah, well, I think it's...
Aside from Chuck?
Yeah, but I think what that thing is that they're phasing out their current model. Like, they have stopped production on that thing entirely.
Sure, but...
So if people want an Xbox One now...
They want a PS4-sized one that can play a 4K signal.
Yeah, there it is. It's a thing. And I think, too, that thing is a cheap... 4K Blu-ray player.
Sure.
And it's the cheapest one on the market, and that's going to be a thing that gets that thing into people's houses.
Okay.
So
I mean, if you don't have one, but I mean, how many people are going to go buy one?
It seems like the wrong year to announce that if they're doing the Scorpio next year.
Well, I think they're always going to have a regular Xbox One on the market. So this thing is just replacing the one that we have now.
Okay.
It's not like an initial cons. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people are going to go, well, I'm just going to wait. But, time and time again has shown, like when the PS3 was out, the PS2 was still selling like fucking mad.
Yeah.
Like crazy amounts, So if they've got one,
they had a crazy library.
Sure, and I think that if they will find a way to make the Slim cheaper, and it'll just appeal to certain people who are like, well, I don't have 4K, I don't care. So
yeah,
I don't know. They'll figure that out.
Yeah.
Their messaging is weird as usual, but it's Microsoft, and they don't know what the fuck they're doing whenever it comes to actually telling us what they're doing. So you just have to. At least they said something. Whereas, unlike the Sony press conference, no one was speaking.
Yeah,
which was weird. It was just orchestra and trailer, orchestra, trailer, orchestra. Good night, everybody. That was odd. Yeah. That was the oddest press conference I've seen in a while.
And they're basically just like, "Yeah, 4K still coming. PS4K, deal with it."
Yeah. So
whatever.
I don't know.
Yeah.
They got a lot of games coming out. It seems like half of them are zombie games somehow. It's like they've doubled down on this Last of Us thing.
Yeah, who knows?
Whatever that one was with the hundreds of the World War Z game, whatever the hell that was.
Yeah.
Something about bikers in World War Z.
I've already forgotten the name of it.
Yeah.
The
not full throttle sequel. That
yes. Yes, exactly. Horizon Zero Dawn still looks good.
Yeah.
I don't even remember what that was.
That's where you're fighting robot dinosaurs and tethering them to the ground. Like all the animals are robotic.
Okay.
Weird, like biotic mixes.
I care more about The Last Guardian because I'd like to play a Team Ico game that doesn't chug on its own, ambitiousness.
Yeah.
Oh, hopefully this one doesn't.
Yeah.
Yeah. And EA told us, hey, Mass Effect Andromeda is still happening. And nothing else.
So weird. They put out a thing later saying we don't want to start marketing this before Battlefield and Titanfall, which kind of makes sense, because
Titanfall 2 looks pretty fucking dope. I'm gonna go on record and say that looks pretty goddamn good.
I agree with you, and their story sounds insane. Like why all of a sudden the mechs are sentient and
at least they're having a story this time.
Yes,
and it's not just relying on a multiplayer that's dead now.
Yeah. I mean, I enjoyed playing Titanfall. I really did. I just wished there was something more to it than that.
Well, now it looks like there's more classes and things you can do. It looks a lot more interesting.
Yeah. But I mean, I really enjoyed Titanfall. I had a lot of fun. We played some and had a blast with it. It was just like, this is it? Yeah. I need more. And it sounds like we're getting a lot more. So, and Battlefield 1.
It's funny because I feel like Titanfall 2, if they hadn't made Titanfall 1 at the time they had, Titanfall 2 is the one they could be like, yeah, we're not doing a story mode this time.
Yeah.
It's funny because I feel like now with Battlefront and Overwatch and things like that, it's like this is the time they could be like, no, this is going to be a super interesting, highly competitive multiplayer thing that doesn't need a story, But now it's like, the complaint with the first one was that there was no story. That now they have to.
It's weird that no matter which one you do, you will get complaints about.
Sure, I know. I'm just saying. Like now, I feel like we're in a world that would be more willing to accept.
I also feel like it's the team that made one of the best one of the best single player FPS experiences ever with Call of Duty 4. So it's kind of like you expect those guys to be doing that sort of thing.
Yeah,
which who knows if they'll be able to live up to even remotely close to what Call of Duty 4 did at the time, but still, I don't know.
And then I mean, we'll know sooner than most of these other things. I'm just happy to see more about the new South Park game.
Yeah,
I mean that switching it over to superheroes versus the Game of Thrones ripoff, I think is going to make me even more interested in it than it was before. I just hope it's like one of those they don't try to make it too different because I think the first game worked so well.
Yeah, I mean the battle system is more a grid-based thing now. So
yeah, that's things I'm worried about. I'm just hoping that it's.
But it'll probably be like the other, like the first South Park game, where it's just it'll be so simple that
that's what I hope
it's not going to be a big deal.
Yeah, I don't want to have to play Banner Saga just to get through the South Park story. Is what I'm afraid of.
The first game was almost perfect. I mean, it really was like this is the best you guys could have done with this, and it's the perfect mix.
That's what I'm saying. I'm afraid of they're going to try to top perfection.
Yes,
instead of just doing more of it.
Yeah, just reskin that first game with superhero stuff and put in more jokes. That's all I care about. I did like during that press conference when the dude announced the release date and Trey Parker just started laughing. Like they put up the it's coming out December 6th, and he was like,
Yeah,
he
we'll
knows
see if that happens.
he knows.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, they had all the assets in place. Like, they were really, it's like, okay, we can just make another one of these now. But I don't know. Those late December Ubisoft releases sometimes just don't happen.
It'll probably be February.
Yeah.
Every game is February.
Well, Crackdown 3, they didn't announce it at the show in particular, but they did say later on that it's 2017.
Oh, it's still
pushback,
still a thing? Okay. Yeah, but they didn't even mention it.
Yeah.
That was weird.
That was one where I was like, well, wait, what about Crackdown 3? And
Yeah.
nothing.
Nah.
So, chances are it's late 2017, not early, but
I could see that being like a Scorpio launch title.
Yeah.
That's-
It probably needs it if it's blowing all sorts of stuff up like Crackdown 1 and 2 were.
Yeah.
Where you could just chain.
Well, then this was like you could take it out a building.
Yes.
You know?
Oh, yeah. This was all like...
Yeah, it'll probably be so heavily physics-based.
Yeah, because this was all like power the cloud, powering the Levolution.
Oh, that's right. Power of the cloud.
Yeah.
Shit.
Evolution.
So, yeah, I appreciated that they mentioned Mass Effect, but I just, look, fuck everything. Give me Mass Effect right now.
At least they didn't talk about No Man's Sky like at all.
Yes, thankfully, for the first E3 in like 5 years.
Well,
Well, I
they
just
didn't
mean
want
it's-
death threat.
Well, it's like right around the corner, so it's like
Yeah.
why mention
Yeah,
it?
it was supposed to
Exactly.
be out already.
Yeah, that's right. We should have been playing it while we were watching E3. But yeah, finish a game, guys. Come on, just put it out there. We got more footage of Cuphead. I don't know if that game is ever coming out.
Yeah, they've been showing Cuphead for a while. At
It's
least,
probably soon. The Mighty Number 9 finally came out, so I think
Yeah.
Cuphead's finally coming.
Okay, great.
well, yeah. In Cuphead, they apparently originally it was a boss rush game.
Yeah.
and
No,
now they're
putting
actually like,
actually-
all right, oh yeah, you guys want levels? to
Okay.
do this? Okay,
Yeah, sure.
So apparently they've been building levels. So who knows?
It's so frustrating. Like each year, Microsoft, especially the last couple of years, has put out that trailer reel of all their indie games coming out, and whenever I see that, I'm like, oh man, I would play all of these. And then because
None
they
of them
come
come
out,
out.
they either don't come out or they come out so far apart from each other, I don't remember them.
Or they come out with no fanfare.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like you put them in these sizzle reels for, it's like, check out all these games, and it's like, I would play every single one of those, and then it's like, oh, that's out? Nah.
Yeah. It feels like in the past that would have been like, all right, here's your Summer of Arcade lineup.
Yes.
Remember those awesome games we showed you?
Yes.
They're out this week, next week, week after, and the week after that.
That's what they need to do. That's
Yeah,
what they really
need to
do.
go back to it, because now it's just kind of like, all right, it's up on the marketplace.
Mm-hmm.
There's so little anything about it. It's kind of like the backwards compatibility stuff. Chuck and I were both like, all right, man, gonna get the big, like Red Dead, clear them all out, just get everything out on backwards.
Unleash the fury.
Yeah, and then they're like, well, you can play. Let me think about it. Anomaly Warzone Earth, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
Here you
heard
go.
of that.
Yeah, have
a
that.
game you might own that you don't realize you own. Yeah,
Me.
yep. Here you go.
I was like,
you
what
like
the
it.
fuck is that? And they're like, wait,
Yeah.
I have achievements in this.
Yeah.
When did I play this?
Yeah, Joe Danger. Yeah, you're waiting for that, right?
Yeah.
Those guys making No Man's Sky. Might not be coming out for us, but same guys.
We got their other game.
Yeah, like, it's just so. I mean, when the biggest thing is Fallout New Vegas.
Yeah.
Which cool.
Yeah.
Thanks. I'll play that again, or I'll play it for the first time.
Yes.
Play it again.
but on a real system.
Yes, on a system that's not
Yeah,
currently
and hopefully
in the sun.
hopefully they patched it by now, and it's the version that's not gonna get fucked.
No, that version could get fucked.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, I'm not on the New Vegas.
Yeah.
I tried.
I know.
I want to play New Vegas.
Okay.
I'm
Yeah.
just, I haven't played any of those.
All right.
It's another, I should really play.
Well, you never played any of the Fallouts?
I played.
You want to start with that
I played
one?
like 20 hours of Fallout 3 and then
Okay.
got married or some shit. So
Yeah.
life found a
It
way.
happens.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Otherwise, Nintendo showed Zelda, and didn't say anything about the NX, but they showed some Zelda.
That looks all right.
Yeah, that looks like a pretty cool Zelda game.
You can get pants.
Apparently, yeah. I don't know what else to say. Like, you know what you're getting.
I guess.
I
I mean, it kind of looks different for a Zelda game, but it looks similar to 100 other games that have, long since passed the Zelda game design type stuff. But, it's Nintendo. They have a way of making things charming. So
Yeah.
maybe that.
I just want to hear more about the NX. What's its gimmick?
Yeah.
Because apparently they were showing when everyone got to play Zelda, it was on the Wii U gamepad.
Mhm.
Because it is coming out for that also. But
Yep.
what's going to be on NX? What's the big thing? And
I hope there's
we got none of that.
I hope there's honestly no gimmick. I hope it comes.
I hope so too.
I hope I hope it comes with a Wii U gamepad, and the front of it is a series of controller ports that you can take any Nintendo controller that they've ever made and plug it into that fucker and play some games. Because if I could take an original NES gamepad all the way up to a fucking GameCube, Wavebird, how awesome would that shit be?
That would be pretty dope.
But like, hey, you know what? The NX is about the entire Nintendo fucking library.
Mm-hmm. That's honestly something they should consider.
And it's like, and you know what? You can put the goddamn power pad and the Rob the Robot in there if you want to.
Okay, yes, I will buy 2 of those.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's just like plug it all in, it all works. Maybe not with every game, but with the games you're supposed to play with it, here you go. And it's the real goddamn thing. That's the best thing they could do. And say, you know what? This is the history of Nintendo box right here. The history and the future of Nintendo.
That, honestly, going forward, there's not a lot they can do except go back to the past with their stuff.
That's what I'm saying.
Because third parties don't give a fuck about Nintendo anymore. So Nintendo machines are just going to be Nintendo games.
That's the problem with all their proprietary shit.
Yeah.
Like when you don't control like the other ones, people don't want to waste the time to make it work on your system later once everybody's already played it on the other ones.
Yeah.
I think they all learned from getting burned from Assassin's Creed and Batman and I forget what else came, or Mass Effect, I think. Yeah. Like, I bet those didn't sell shit.
No.
On the Wii U.
Like, I remember hearing something like EA had finished Mass Effect and shipped back their dev kits before the Wii U came out. Like, they had finished production on the Mass Effect port and were like, okay, we're done.
Yeah.
Thank you. So.
Yeah. Like, the games have to come out at the same time or nobody gives a shit.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and no one is going to go to a Nintendo console to play a third-party version of something that's out on another console.
Yeah.
So you've got to have something to supplement the 6 months between actual Nintendo releases. Make that thing a fucking museum. Make it, like the history of Nintendo.
Or even better, I thought about a better way of doing that. Sell a little $20, $30 USB device, and the front of it is 8 USB ports, so you can play up to 8 players on shit.
Sure.
And the front of it is just a series of USB ports and like, hey, bring your own controller. So when you want that 8-person Mario Kart thing, you can go, well, what do you want to use?
Yeah, Game Tap.
Yeah.
Whatever that thing was.
I'm saying, like, plug this in and take whatever controller you want because you know what? You can play the modern Mario Kart with an NES gamepad. There's that few buttons.
Yep.
Go.
You need gas and brake and fire.
And weapon.
Yep.
Jump and weapon and brake, go and go.
Yeah. They should really embrace their history with this next thing. Yeah. But we don't know what it is because they're not talking about it. So,
yeah, unfortunately,
yeah. And I remember seeing the trailer for Friday the 13th. I don't know.
I still haven't watched that.
That game's not gonna fly, man.
Yeah.
You're just walking around as Jason murdering teenagers. As cathartic as that may be,
that's Friday the 13th, man.
All it's going to take is for Fox News to see that for about 10 seconds on a slow news day and go, look at this shit.
Yeah.
Look what Nintendo is doing to your children, even though it's not even remotely related.
Yeah, and it feels we're in a very weird time because there were obviously a lot of journalists that were like, we just need to get away from guns and games completely. And it's like, listen, we do, but we also, I don't want games that aren't fun anymore. And I'm sorry, but gunplay in games is fun. There's a reason. Playing the Doom demo, I was like, give me more of this shit. Give me all of it.
Right.
Put it in my veins.
Yeah.
Like, there's something about that it feels like if we're just, if games can't all become, we have to learn something and we have to feel better about the world afterwards. Like
there's a market for that.
Movies understand that. You have big summer movies where dumb shit happens and things blow up and things go crazy and you know what? And then you have your dramatic stuff in the fall that, you might learn something from or you might feel something from.
Yeah.
There's a balance. It's okay to have a balance.
I would say,
and it feels like people so much are like, no, you can't. We just need to get away from all that.
Yeah. But I would say there is more of an alternative market now than there ever has been for video games. I think the amount of other experiences you can have with video games right now are vast.
Yeah.
As opposed to especially the 360 era where it was just brown shooter go. And by that I mean color palette. So I mean you've got so many options now, and whereas even at the tail end of last generation, where a lot of those games were only coming out on PC, they're all coming to current consoles now.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you can play Gone Home on a PS4, it's a PS Plus title.
Yeah, Life is Strange. Never touch a gun once.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, a character touches a gun, but you never are in control of a gun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there are so many experiences out there.
Yeah. And I guess more what I'm pushing towards is like, I am sick of clickbait articles that are basically, you should feel bad for liking this and looking forward to it. Like fuck all those people. You know, and people that were just about Battlefield 1. I mean, yeah, World War I was a garbage, horrible time for human beings.
Yes, it was.
Guess what? World War II was also. And how many games have we made of World War II? Billions.
Yeah. How many games about the war in the Middle East have we had?
Yeah.
Fictional or otherwise. That's not good.
Yeah, and
especially because those people are still here dealing with that shit.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry, I don't want to sound cold, but like making a game about World War I.
There are no World War I veterans still alive.
Yeah, you're not going to offend those people.
Yeah.
They did their job. They served their country, and their time has come.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to say that coldly, but I'm just saying you can make a World War I game, and it's not going to be offensive because there's no one here to get offended.
Yeah.
So, it's probably not coming out right, but
no, I understand what you're saying.
I just,
hopefully the listeners.
It's like there was,
hopefully they know where we're coming from. That you know, they're just, there seems to have become a rise in this like anti-game culture almost from game culture, and that's weird to me.
Yeah, why you're eating your own tail.
Yeah, and not like, I mean, yes, let's push for more stuff that's gonna, you know, more Gone Homes, more Life is Strange, more Sibel, like more stuff that's doing something different.
Yeah, sure.
But we don't need to do that by attacking the stuff that's doing the things that, you know what, most of us enjoy. So,
yeah, instead of writing that article, use your time to talk about game that is an alternative to one of those, instead of complaining that no one is talking about those games.
Yeah, I mean, there's a ton of things you can go play if these things are upsetting to you. I mean, there are alternate types of games to play that are not shooting mechanics.
Absolutely.
There are rhythm games, there's sports games, there's Gone Home, Tacoma, Firewatch. There's that game called This War of Mine, which is all about war, but you're not playing an actual soldier. I mean,
yeah. There's, puzzle game. I mean, The Witness. I mean, you can play The Witness forever.
Yeah.
That game goes on forever.
And then there's stuff like Spec Ops: The Line that has something to say about that stuff and says it very well.
Yeah.
In a game where you're still shooting people. But it makes that case better than 1,000 clickbait articles have. So.
Yeah, and then I love like when Call of Duty goes to space and is just completely like future fantasy, and then everyone's like, "Oh, why isn't this World War II?"
Yeah,
it's like, well, they're getting away from actual real world war maybe to do something different, and everyone's like, jeez.
Yeah, no space shooter.
Yeah,
it's like fine.
Yeah.
Like you complained that it was too realistic.
Yeah,
we moved it to the
so now we're going to shoot aliens.
Realistic place possible.
So
yeah,
I don't know. I think the new Call of Duty looks awesome.
Yeah, fuck those aliens. I'm gonna shoot them.
Sure.
I'm gonna shoot all the aliens.
Yeah, shoot them.
Space Nazis.
Yep. I'd kill some space Nazis, man.
Yeah.
They ruin everything. So, yeah, that's E3.
Sure. Sounds like it.
It sounds like that show is getting weird, like in terms of like the show floor. In terms of like maybe they don't know how much longer that thing is going to last because the big companies are all pulling out of it.
Yeah. I mean, it might go back to an E for all thing that they did that one year, and then everyone's like, no, this sucks, bring back E3.
I still don't know why they don't open that thing up to the public. Like, do your trade show at the beginning of the week, and then at the end of the week have it open to the public and really get some marketing done there. Because, like, this...
It just feels like PAX has taken the wind out of a lot of it.
Battle it, man.
Yeah.
You've got, not everyone goes to PAX. You've got everyone in one place once a year. Fucking sell that shit.
Yeah, but I mean, all the game people would want to get the fuck out of there as soon as it opens up to the public.
Well, so the show now is like Sunday through like Wednesday. Shut down on Thursday, rejuvenate everything, get everything to where you need it, and then reopen it up Friday, Saturday, and Sunday to the public. And just fucking hammer your product home, man. Just let people come and go nuts. I mean, I've never understood why they don't do that.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's like you're right there. You've got
You're so close.
Yeah, you've got all this money in your booth and your flashy lights and everything. Let the people come see that. I just think they could make some money doing that. But what do I know?
Yeah, you don't know shit, Chuck.
Amen. So we got any emails?
We do actually. We had one from Chris.
Okay.
From Seattle.
All right.
Who was actually I probably should have read this during the pinball segment. But
okay.
He said the triumphant return of Pinball Corner.
Yeah.
And he said, "Dear Mackie, Harlow, Chuck, and sometimes BJ, greetings. I eagerly await your pinball tales. You better play through Ghostbusters. I have a suggestion for the expo. Post your best scores on favorite games and challenge us to beat them. Because short emails are good emails." Chris in Seattle.
Yeah.
And yeah, we thought about keeping track of them, but it's weird when you're at these shows. You're just so often you're just want it, like when you're done, you got a line behind you and you just want to move on.
Right.
And
I tried doing that last year in Orlando. I was taking pictures of my scores because I thought I would like put them on Pinside or something like that. But what happens is generally like when the game ends, your score goes away, and then it takes a while to cycle back through to it. And so if you're just standing there like an idiot with your game over, with your phone up, waiting to snap a picture of a score, you look like a jackass.
Yeah, especially if it's a score that's not that great.
Yeah. So I stopped doing that. And
Yeah, there were a couple where I just had like amazing runs, and I was like, "Oh man, I need to snap a picture of this," and then forgot about it.
Yeah.
You know.
But it's hard to know at these things too, like settings wise. If this is like the baseline arcade setting, because then every once in a while you'll fire up a game and then it's like, oh, this is a 5-ball game. Shit.
Yeah.
Why is that?
A few of them.
Yeah.
I was like, oh no.
Yes, this invalidates everything.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the old EM tables are supposed to be 5-ball.
Sure.
But that's because they drain so damn fast.
Yeah, but I mean, like that Tales from the Crypt table in Orlando was like, oh, this is 5. Oh, geez, this is going forever.
Yeah. I felt like I played that forever.
Yeah. So yeah, it's hard to tell. Unless you're in the tournament. Like if we had played in the tournament, then we would have official records.
Yeah,
but
sure.
Well, and then there
Really.
was also like sometimes like when we were waiting to play Whirlwind for the tournament, and there was that girl in front of us who just was wrecking that machine.
Yeah, she destroyed that machine.
Yeah, I mean she was
Points wise.
Yeah, she was. I think Harlow's winning score was like 6 million, and she was like at 17.
Yeah.
Before she's like, I guess I'm done here.
Yes.
And then like she and a couple friends went on No Good Gophers right next to that, and we're just destroying that machine too.
They were there forever.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure we didn't see them before because they were probably all tournament people. They were probably
Maybe.
just bored and hanging out that day.
Yeah, but she was just like wearing headphones and drinking,
Yes.
like alcoholic drinks,
Yes,
drinking,
yes.
and just wrecking tables. We're like, okay,
Those were the people specifically I was referring to who probably started late Saturday night and had
Yeah.
not stopped because they were feeling fine.
yeah,
Skateballing.
Skateballing. Yeah. So, okay, we'll post some scores.
Yeah, I mean, I think I finally have solved the Pinball Arcade login thing. I think I'm actually logged in now.
Uh-huh.
So if you Pinball Arcade on Steam, I don't know if it matters platform-wise because I think your Pinball Arcade ID is multi.
They have started to integrate it, but it is kind of sloppy.
Oh,
yeah.
right.
I don't think it goes from consoles. I think
Okay.
it goes from like iPad and.
I have seen
that.
mobile scores on the PS4, maybe.
Oh,
well,
really?
maybe if they ever sort that out, maybe we can.
Well, we did
get
have
some
a Google
share
Doc.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, we did. That's right.
that's right,
I'm
yeah.
sure it still
I
exists.
created a Google Doc. I may have to put a link to that in the show notes.
Okay.
Again,
We can tweet
it's
that
been a
out.
while since we've updated any of it,
Yeah.
but it has Pinball FX on it. It has Pinball Arcade. It has Williams Collection. I tried to kind of make it as many things as I could.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah. Yeah, pinball scores.
yeah,
But yeah, if you're playing it on any of the consoles, like, let us know, because like there's always one of us playing it on something.
yeah. I went right back after the show. I was like, man, I need to play some pinball.
I did the same thing.
Yeah.
It's like, fire this up. I need to play more Whirlwind.
Yeah, I've decided Steam is my new home for Pinball FX and arcade. So
Smart.
Yeah, and Steam sale. A whole bunch of those seasons are on sale right
Yeah,
now.
Steam
I think
sale.
season 3 is like $10, which is about as cheap as you're ever going to get it.
Oh, yeah.
there for the pro version.
I'm
especially.
amazed it's on sale at all.
Yeah,
oh, that's
well,
$10
normally,
for the Pro version. Nice.
yeah. Normally theirs are like 10% off.
Yeah.
and it's $30 for 10 tables for the later seasons, which is
And I
like,
don't think on consoles they've ever been on sale.
no. And it's sad that when I booted up on Xbox One, and I was almost like, man, I should probably buy this. And then I talked myself out of it because it was $30 for season 1 and $30 for season 2. And I was like, everything I want is in season 1 and season 2.
Yeah.
But yeah, I had to talk myself out of it.
I don't know. They've been putting out some good tables here recently. Like I'm really glad to have the Getaway and stuff like that. Really good ones in there.
And stuff like No Fears on there, which I had totally forgotten.
No Fears on there. That Judge Dredd table is actually a really good table when you can like have it to like learn it.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
It's a fun table.
Well, that's the biggest thing I think that's fun about the digital versions is we learn how to play them. Like none of us would know how to play Bride of Pinbot if we hadn't been going for the Wizard challenges on it.
Yeah, because
now that we do, and same with Taxi, now that we do, we're like, oh, fuck.
Yeah, do this, hey, boop, you're good.
Yep. Yeah, without the challenge parts, it would have been like, I'm just smacking the ball. I don't know what's
will
going
admit, man, it feels so good watching people come up and just be like, holy shit. Like watching you play an actual machine and just fucking owning it.
Yep.
Yeah, I thought it was one of you standing behind me when I was playing Taxi one time, and I caught luckily, like, my very last shot was I did a carry passenger because I had, like, I think 4 out of 5 of them and drained the ball, and the guy, and I thought it was one of you standing behind me. I was just like, oh, damn it. I turned around and there was someone right at me. It's like, yeah, that sucks, man. He's like, good thing you hit that shot, though. And I was like, oh, hey, yeah, random guy watching me play Taxi.
Yeah.
Thanks, buddy. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's fun, too, watching somebody else own a table. A lot of times it's like, man, I would never, like, I didn't know you could do that.
Yeah.
You know? So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, and then you step up after they're done and drain all 3 balls in 45 seconds. You're like, man, I'm dumb.
Yeah. I'm bad at game.
Yep. Like, the game is just like, no, man. No more.
Yeah.
Yep.
Please, no.
No mas.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
For checking our pinball scores and doing all that stuff, go to noquarters.net.
Right.
Yeah. Got show notes on most episodes, not all, but most. I'll try and get them up for this one so that we can at least have pinball scores readily available on the public Google Doc.
Right.
Actually, you might have to request. I might have to let you in. I don't know if I can trust you.
We'll figure it out.
You got to prove I can trust you.
Yeah. We need validation.
Yeah. And the best way to do that is to write us at wearmyskull@noquarters.net, as in the location of your skull, not putting it on like
Don't just wear it.
No.
Okay.
WHERE.
All right.
Where my skull.
Where my skull.
Yeah. There you go. We do live streams. Check them out. YouTube.com/noquartersnet. Facebook.com/noquartersnet. Twitter.com/noquartersnet.
Yeah.
All those things. We try and keep it simple.
And hey, if you like noquarters.net,
yeah, please rate us on iTunes.
Right. But also maybe you might want to go to patreon.com/BMFcast.
Yeah.
Well, that's confusing.
Our sister show.
Oh.
Our bigger show, because we do it every week.
Yeah.
We got
traction that way.
Yeah, we got a Patreon going. You can donate and hear extra bonus content.
Non-denominational podcast content.
Yeah, we talk about stuff.
Yeah.
If you don't want to hear us talk about movies, we just talk about stuff, usually eating. If you're a big fan, if you're a big foodie.
Yeah, sure.
You want to listen to our gourmet choices. Go to Arby's. Have a good time. But yeah, no, that's a thing that helps us pay for all this stuff. And since we use all the same stuff, it helps pay for that too.
Yep, hosting, all that.
Yeah, so it keeps No Quarters alive.
Yes. Like Bride of Pinbot. My God, it's alive.
Yep. So there's a thing you can do also.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Well, I guess we finished.
Yeah, we're done here.
Thanks for listening. Let's get out of here.
Okay.
I'm Mackie.
I'm Chuck.
And I'm Harlow.
This is No Quarters out. Nope, no, wrong song.
Oh, shit.
This month on No Quarters.
All right, so you actually did do
Chuck,
it.
Yay! I did it last time.
Yeah. This month on No Quarters.
Oh, shit, I guess it's my turn.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Hi, Mark the Ninja here.
Coming up this month on No Quarters. I did it that many episodes ago.
Yeah. So technically it's BJ's turn, but
Yeah, that's true.
are you going to stream this intro to the internet?
Yeah, sure.
All right.
Sure, why not?
All right.
You have to do the intro at the end of the live stream.
Yeah. Get ready, guys. This is what
Hey,
you
guys.
just heard. Okay. No.
I'm making nothing here. Hard life is strange. Party hard life is strange.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm?
Wow.
Grab Chuck's brain.
Nah.
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 So is it still live?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
We are still live. We're going to give the fans a treat.
Oh, a treat, huh?
A free treat.
We usually stream us coming up with the dumb intro
Do
and
we?
our bad attempts at it. Yes.
I just didn't. No one ever watches this thing, so.
What?
Yeah, we had some people show up for the chat.
What? The live stream?
Oh, live stream.
Hey, nobody watching. How you doing?
Hi, nobody watching. Hi.
Hi.
Hi. Is it going to be Mark the Ninja? Is Mark the Ninja here?
No.
Oh.
It's going to be Ted the Ninja.
Ooh.
Theodore Ninja.
Theodore Ninja.
That son of a bitch ninja.
Yeah. Coming up this month on No Quarters, you must undertake the trials of the bread. Bread.
The Red Dragon.
The Paul Red Dragon. Coming up this month on No Quarters, you must undertake the trials of the Blood Dragon before you can party hard and begin your Overwatch. Remember to consult your doctor before playing dangerous golf. The whole thing? I'm just going to do the second part. Remember to consult your doctor before playing dangerous golf. All right, fine. Coming up this month on No Quarters, you must undertake the trials of the Blood Dragon before you can party hard and begin your Overwatch. Remember to consult your doctor before playing dangerous golf.
Keeper.
Nice job.
Way to go. You're a pro.
Thanks.
Pro.
Look at me. Pro.
All right, so Tuesday?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Tuesday this week.
Yeah.
Boop, 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 boop.
Oh. I went ahead and brought the movie so I wouldn't forget it on Tuesday.
He brought the movie so he wouldn't forget it on Tuesday.
What?
Yeah, that old jazz favorite.
I love that one. It's so
old-
good.
That old standard.
Uh-huh. Skeevy bop. Uh-huh. Yeah.
All right, goodbye, live stream.
All that.